Live stream is coming up. Waiting for middle-aged gaming. Give me a second. The stream appears to be coming up right now. I've got a little bit of a frog in my throat. There we go. Let me just get the link for the live stream and post this around. Post this. Okay. Is everything working? Let's check on my phone to see if the stream is working. It is working. Good. Perfect. Right. Let's, I'll just generally chat about nothing for a moment before I start. I'll just get everything ready. Just following, reading up on the chats ready for the next season. They're already starting the politics. So there we go. I think everybody's probably having the same issue with season 3 being so close. Hello Altius, welcome to the stream. I'm going to be looking at quite a few things today in a short while, especially here, the season 3 changes. Yeah, where am I going? But so far, I'm going to go in Erebor, and already they are discussing about making alliances for next season and which is the right place, who we should ally with, whether we should have pre-season alliances, because that kind of screwed us a little bit in season 2. What happened was everybody else had already made prep alliances. And we kind of got hit on the receiving end of it. These are so far the season 3 changes expected, which are looking kind of interesting. I'm going to talk about each of these in a bit more detail in a short while. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shove them in the corner for a second, just to remind you they're sort of like what we're going to be looking at. I don't want to make it too small, but I still want to make it noticeable. There we go. Right, okay. I'll leave it in the corner. Hopefully, if people are looking, checking on my phone whether it's too small, I'll make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so that's what we're going to be discussing in a short while. I'm just going to prepping for the end here now on my account. There's not a lot to do. We are protecting Dol Guldur, ready for the final day or so. There's possibilities of pushes, and everybody's declaring their last sets of wars. So whether there's going to be a massive push on Dol Guldur, possibly, I'm not entirely sure. Here is this is like everybody can fight each other. So this has been rolling for a while because everybody got bored quite early on. So we made this section here so everybody could just PvP each other. And you can see that. Other than that, most of the other groups are kind of fighting small little battles, probably presumably to see how high they finish on the rankings board. So far, you've kind of got Linden in first place, Rohan on second for territories, third. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so Gondor at the moment, third place, and Mordor are fourth. for those, and everybody else is desperately trying to hold on to sort of like their 4 territories. Erebor with 3, 2, 3 for Angmar. It's a pretty sad season for Angmar. They had a really, really strong one for like 70% of the season. They were doing really well. They owned like 70% of the map at some stage. It was insane, and it's just all gone wrong. They're now fallen down to just these 3. But like I said, I've just got all of my stuff here at the ring. When we took this a couple of days, about a few weeks back now, we had like 2,000 armies to take it, and Linden had like about 1,500. So I think there's a fear that potentially they could go for the full winner of the season by maybe making a pass for the ring. There is just over 1 day left, so if it's going to happen, it will probably happen fairly soon. But I don't. Unfortunately, you can't see this far out, so they could have hundreds of armies somewhere around here. We don't know. You don't know, but we do have a good chunk of armies moving around. And I think to try and keep Loth in position, they did declare war declaration a short while ago, so there's a possibility they are going to try. This is like the last. I don't know why that clock keeps changing. This is the last stronghold. The elves have sort of been pushing back most of the rest of the Gondor forces from around here, and now it looks like this is sort of their Yadu just declared war, so they could be trying to just clear out this area. They have to clear this area out first, though, because there's no point in them taking another territory and then losing this one, because they still won't get the season rewards then. But it's just kind of a bit boring now at this stage of the season. There's a bit of anticipation, and I've just been saving up. I think, like, you'll see next week when the new season begins, I'm going to be condensing all of this gear into like 3 sets. I'm going to be playing with Thorin, Galadriel, and Theoden. They're my 3 for next season. So you can see I will compress all of these into just 3 sets. I've just not decided exactly which pieces and what extra bits I'll get next season. I'll probably wait until the first chest and open everything. So I'm hoping I should get some pretty well fortified gear pieces ready for next season. Like I said, 1 for Galadriel, 1 for Theoden. Theoden's pretty much the same as what he's got this season already. His gear's pretty decent. I've got the reach. I've got a helm, 4-3. I might be able to finish upgrading that. His accessory is a bit weak. I'm not really a huge fan of that accessory, but there we go. And I've got the scout mail. It's a pretty solid option build for Theoden. Pretty nice. As for Thorin, I'm not entirely sure. I like the As of Kazakh Doom, but it seems that I got probably the worst one because I don't want that damage reduction because he already has defense reductions and ability. There's much better ones here. I just was unlucky, so I'll keep that and hope that I'll get something like here after the commander attacks, 50% chance to inflict madness for 1 round. That's pretty nice. And I've seen some really good builds where you use panic. So he's got a 50% chance to inflict madness for 1 round after he attacks, and then you take. Oh no, wait, no, it's not that. Sorry, I was going to say there's a really good weapon that I've seen. Is it this one, the Elven White Knight? Yeah, up here. This Elven Knife with Frenzy is awesome for abilities where you want to trigger your normal attacks. Unfortunately, I didn't get this one, but yeah, each round you have a 90% chance to gain follow-up. So 90%, so 9 out of the 10 rounds, you're going to get an extra attack with the follow-up. I also love that the fact they've added in this clickable option now to find out what the skills mean. But the damage dealt of each normal attack is reduced by 50%. So yeah, you get that second extra attack. Initiates 2 normal attacks. So if you've got something that triggers on a normal attack ability, then you'll get that trigger twice, which is pretty sweet. But we'll see. But so weapons, I'm not entirely sure. I've also got an older sword ready for Galadriel if I'm lucky and get this one, the top ability Mind Split. To be honest, actually, the older sword has really good build options, and I've just been terribly unlucky because this top one is really solid. 50% chance of dealing an additional good chunky focus damage, but also even having like accelerate is not terrible. Three rounds, the 90% chance of getting follow up, or first 5 rounds focus damage plus 30%. All those are really good, and I got crap. So not very lucky on there. But I did finally also get an Elven cloak as well today. So I'm getting there. I'm getting there. How are you guys doing for your splits? If you're making, oh sorry, I keep knocking this. How are you guys doing with your pieces? As you can see, I've not really upgraded the one piece of accessory that I've got for legendary, and yeah, I'm not looking too great at the moment. But like I said, next season that will change. When I power all these into 3 items, hopefully it should be stronger. Are you better than me? I'm really bad at, because I like to use 6 commanders. So I kind of got like 6 gear sets for 6 commanders, but I really shouldn't. I should compress this into better ones. How are you? How are you guys at doing this? Are you much better than I am? I have some bits and pieces here that I'm going to hopefully get rid of and trade in. I don't have many, but I've got some bits and pieces ready to trade in, and I've got bits here. I'm really hoping that the special commanders they add the season. Do they already have them? Yeah, okay, so they added the season 2, so I'm guessing they will. Oh wait, they were out already. They haven't added the new guys, have they? Okay, that's a bit of it. Maybe they won't. Maybe they won't add the newer commanders in there. Okay, that's a little bit disappointing. Does that mean? Oh, there's no new commanders since, because I got this at Christmas, so there's not been anything after this. I was wondering about keeping a hold of these until the next season and maybe opening them, but maybe it won't work. I've got bits and pieces. I don't, like I said, it's kind of a bit. Oh wait, what happened to the? Oh, sugar! I forgot that I had that picture up in the top corner, so I hope there wasn't anything that was pressing that you guys couldn't see. I'm going to come to that in a second. Yeah, in game, I really have nothing to do. In game is just totally boring. I've just still been mock battling stuff here. I managed to get my Hergon up. My Hergon's actually pretty solid. I'll probably use him next season as well again, because take a look at this. Let's fill him up with troops. 195,000 siege damage. That's not bad. That's not bad for a good guy, as compared that our siege is pretty bad. And I'm only half filled it with sieges. If I actually switch, do I have extra ones to switch it with? Yeah, okay. Let's see what I can get it to up here. 202,000 if I make it a little bit more even. So he's not terrible. At that siege value, kind of like the best we can do. Although I've also, again, it's probably a bad idea. I kind of put the gear pieces onto Thorin that give him extra siege. It was probably a bad idea, but I just didn't have anything. I think I got 2 drums, and I'm not too impressed with anything that the drums can do. Like, seriously. They are. I mean, I like them for that bonus might, focus, and speed, a bit of everything in that slot. But like, yes, what is it? They get siege, damage up. I mean, what do you guys use on your drums of Moria? Let's have a look. Drums of Moria. Drums of Moria. You can have army speed, melee. I suppose that might not be terrible. Oh no, it's not march speed. Okay, so not particularly great. Army speed bonus against enemy dwarf units. So again, you're only going to be fighting against elven dwarf units. That's pretty rubbish. Army siege, or a 12% chance for stalkers to evade. I mean, what is this madness? Like, I love them. They're really good, but all of the abilities are tragic. So I went with the army siege dwarves just because I thought maybe at some stage I'll want Thorin next season to be good at sieging. And if I get him up to that plus 12 for dwarves, that's going to be pretty insane. I'm trying to remember special units. They're not on here. But even just with the current units that I've got at the moment, plus 12 damage on those Guardians is going to take them up to... it's going to take them up to what? Are they 20 base? I think they're 20 base for a Guardian. Siege 20. Okay, yeah. So, I mean, okay, I might not get it all the way up to maximum, but there's the potential when you do get it up to there, then they'll be on Siege 32, which isn't bad. That isn't bad, actually, Siege 32. Especially compared to what else is available there. Apart from him and Hergon, that's the only two good sieges. And next season, we're going to need that. We're going to need those good sieges for the updates, which are coming. So let's have a look through some of those Season 3 announced changes and whether we think that they're good or bad. So I'm just going to extend this and make it a little bit bigger so we can have a proper chat and a discussion through these. I'll probably come back to it again. I'll probably have a chat through it, go through it, and then maybe I'll bring it back up again in a bit. There are new hired units coming. One Elven melee unit for sure. What faction are you going for? Season 3. Season 3, I'm going to go Erebor because I decided that I wanted to go with Thorin. And because I got him, and I nearly got him to Respect 3, which is kind of where he becomes quite funky with the DPS build. So I thought, well, I'm going him with that damage. I'm not going to go Rohan, so it doesn't really matter. I'm still going to use Theoden. And I'm going to use Galadriel. So I thought, okay, well, let's take Iron Warriors because I think they'll be really good Iron Warriors with some build options. Plus, you can still go with Guardians. So the potential to have Guardians and Iron Warriors in the same army build for some of those DPS builds, some of those scary, like Gimli, Legolas, Thorin, Dane especially. Some of those build options where you can have double tanks, and then maybe put like some DPS unit behind them. It's going to be really scary. So I'm looking forward to that. Game night. Hello, game night. It's going to be a bit of a shame because I know a lot of people on our server, they're all going to go with Erebor. Like there's 3 or 4 big factions going there. The fellowships are going there next season. But there's a couple of other factions that have the same, where already 4 factions have decided to go, 4 fellowships have decided to go there. I'm slipping over my words now. So there's going to be a whole load of people over in Linden, we know. There's a couple of people going to Gondor, we know. There's one in Rohan. But again, it depends if there's going to be server merges again. I can't see there being. I would be surprised if there were, because I think they're going to put themselves into a whole lot of problems with numbers. But maybe it's possible they might try and link 2 together. But let's have a look at that second point on my Season 3 changes. I've color-coded these season changes from my opinion. Red, obviously, where I think they're bad. Yellow, where I'm fairly indifferent to them. Maybe they'll be good, maybe they won't. And green, where I'm kind of excited and I think they're a good change. So it's kind of a mixed bag so far. It's a really, really mixed bag there on that list. Oh man, be careful. I feel like Erebor is going to be extra hard Season 3 with the 2 new factions near Erebor. Yeah, but I'm going to come to that as well, because that's also on my list of things. The 2 new evil factions. I've just posted a video up on YouTube. I posted it in the comments page on Discord, and nobody really responded to that much, didn't really get any feedback. So I thought, I'm going to make a video just to highlight exactly what my predictions are for the next season, why I think it's a terrible idea to have the 2 new evil factions, and why I think Erebor is still going to be pretty sound. I still think you're going to be okay for the next season. Linden's our pick for Season 3. Season 3 starts in 7 days for me. Yeah, we know a lot of people going to Linden. Like 4 of the other fellowships are going into Linden, so Linden's going to be powerful. It kind of works to our favour because it means that, well, Angmar won't be strong because they were strong this season. So, but yeah, they could end up being double-sided. Played this Season 2 with Erebor, extremely slow units, just a heads up. Yes, yeah, I'm expecting that. And especially going from Rohan, it's going to be a bit of a pain with that slow movement. But I just feel like they've got a good expansion zone. They've got a good place, and I'll tell you why I think evil factions have a problem. And it's all to do with how many people, especially for our very old servers. The servers before 80, only had 6 playable factions, unless you're on like the special servers, like 5 and 10. The rest of them all only had 6 playable factions, and 4 of those were good and 2 of those were evil, which meant that from our pool of player base, we only have 33% of the player base are evil from day one. And because of the roleplay servers, very, very little fluctuation between good and evil, then we have this huge problem where there's just not that many players to fill in the places. So there might be 5 evil factions next season. Or, sorry, 6. There's 6 evil factions, half of them next season. There's not going to be the evil players to fill those. So 1 or 2 of them might be full. This season, we've got 1 Angmar's powerful. Mordor's got 1 Fellowship. And Rune has got like 10 players. And Isengard have like 20 players. It's crazy. And to split them across even more, it's going to be even weaker for the evil. They're all just going to have to merge into 1 mega block to be able to have any success. The speed doesn't matter too much. Just need to be a bit more careful and expect. I mean, I'm going to go with 1 cavalry unit. I'm going to go with Theoden anyway. So I will take 1 cavalry. And then eventually I'll build up and take a 2nd cavalry army. So I'll still use some cavalry. Erebor, the past 2 seasons I played Erebor has got screwed hard. I feel like Erebor is cursed pick. I haven't seen many Erebor season winners. Pick and mix, I've seen some have done really well. I've seen some that haven't done particularly too well with that season. Sorry, let me pull this chat window up above the season 3. Oh, no, maybe we can't see it properly now. Sorry. I'm not sure what I want to do about that. Chat window, I'll put it back below the season 3. Erebor in my server so far this last season, nobody went there. Season before, they were real pains in the asses that they screwed up and they got annihilated. So swings around us, but there's a lot of good groups going over there this season. Hopefully, it'll be a bit different, but the whole season is going to be very different because of some of these changes. We're about to win this season with Erebor. It seems like they will reduce faction cap. Makes sense with reduced spawn area size. Yeah, possibly reducing the faction cap does make sense. We just have no idea by how much. I saw that they've said. So let's go through the issues that they've said so far. So that's why I think my 2 new evil faction problem. Let me show you. I just did a video on this, so I've got the thing saved up. So let me show you here. This was my. We'll go through everything very quickly. So I'll go back through the slides. And 2 new factions we have. We have Varag here with their unit of champions, which can challenge. So they prioritize the enemy unit with the highest tier, target unit, next hit, damage minus 50%. So it looks like, say you come against something like Mumakills, I'm guessing, with that tier 4, then you prioritize hitting those, then you hit them, and then they deal minus 50% on the next hit, which I'm guessing if it's something like Mumakills where they do everything and they hit, then all of their attacks are reduced, I'm guessing. It's an interesting unit, for sure, this champion. I'm not entirely sure how well it's going to work. The damage seems okay-ish. Hit points and defense seem okay-ish. And they're pretty fast for the unit. Oh, they're cavalry. Oh, they're cavalry, so that damage is not particularly too good. 35 to 38. But okay, fine. I just remembered they've got mounted. They've got mounted and they've got challenge. So, fast unit, that's why they're fast. Okay. Wakey. Interesting. We'll see how well they get along. Vags, we'll see. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. We've got Gundabad. I like their special unit a little bit more. So they're a damage. So look, their damage is pretty similar to what the Cavs were. Oh no, way higher. So the champions did 35 to 38 damage. The Warlords are doing 50 to 60 damage, and their special shove normal attacks. Whenever they attack, they hit they'll hit a ranged unit and a melee unit at the same time, doing 100% damage to both. So actually that damage value, as long as the opponent's got a melee and a ranged unit, you're going to be doing 50 to 60 per unit on both. I mean, that's such a strong unit. Such a strong unit. So those warlords are going to be scary as hell. And they also have ignore 50% of target's defense, which is crazy. Like I said, there's so many things out now that's reducing or ignoring defense damage. So for sure, Gundabad, it looks way more scary than Varyags. I'm not entirely sure. Like, you would think as game devs, they're like, okay, we're going to add these new factions. We need to add some balance. We need to have some parity to them. So let's make them both quite interesting. But when you look at those two new units, I just can't see, other than the fact they've got speed and there's not a whole lot of good cavalry units that are going to build up with the rest of that build anyway for Varyags. I mean, what else are you going to put with them? Gundabad just seem more rounded, more scary, a lot more firepower, and seems like their combo with a lot of other things. So, it's going to be nice. Let me just catch up with the chats. Reduced action cap. Speed issue there, but could be fixed with the new keep upgrade system. Definitely. I'm not entirely sure how the keep systems are going to be messed up compared to what they were this season. Already you had all the keeps doing those extra bonus damage, bonus abilities. I'm guessing with structure redevelopment, those are going to disappear. And the structure redevelopment system will replace that, because otherwise it'd be silly for the keep to have a bonus and then you go into the keep ability and then you unlock more bonuses. I think that will replace that system, which will make sense. So that should be good. But yeah, more speed upgrades would be nice. And you can get some items with March speed. Season 2 is crazy for me. Everyone switched factions into 3 main factions before the cutoff, into Mordor, Gondor, and Erebor. We won the ring in the end, and we will end with season with number 2. Yeah, I think a lot of groups, and I keep saying this, for all of the older servers, I have never seen a server with 2 strong evil factions. It cannot exist. And when I come to the last slide with this presentation, I'll show you why it's just not mathematically possible for it to work. And the system, they need to develop some changes to the system, otherwise we're going to end up with an absolutely screwed up season, time and time again on every server. Gundabad tier 4 is Orc. I'm not entirely sure, and they don't give you much detail with the unit other than being Warlord. Solid option regardless, so this is going to be a scary unit. I'm not going to look forward to fighting these. You're going to pretty much, I mean, actually, to be honest, I'm probably in a slightly better position in that if I'm going to go with all tanks, mainly tanks with like Thorin or Legolas or Gimli at some stage, then I could go with Iron Warriors, Guardians, and maybe another melee unit, and then Warlords won't quite be as scary. Or if you're playing Rohan or a full cavalry army, you drop the Bow Knights, you're probably okay if you're going to go against these. Probably going to be your best way of dealing with that scary factor. High Iron Cost will push Varyags to try for the Iron Hills. But I don't think Varyags is going to be a popular faction. I really don't. I don't know of a lot of people that are going to go there. I don't think that unit is particularly very good. I don't think it's a selling point. And I can't see that. Well, maybe people being crazy, but of all of the evil units, they're kind of pretty disappointing in my opinion. Even that challenge ability is kind of like a little bit trashy, really. Prioritize enemy at the highest tier. I suppose it's okay against maybe something like March Wardens, where their DPS is coming from it, or I suppose maybe Marshals, I guess. But if you're coming against, say you're going to come against my Iron Warriors, which you probably are because we're in the same area, then challenge on my Iron Warriors isn't particularly going to do a lot. Oh no, my tanky unit is going to be dealing slightly less damage. Oh, woe is me. They're not going to be as scary compared to how scary Warlords will be for a mixed army. Yeah, way more scary. But I posted in the Discord, again, I put this in the video, why I think that this is a problem, and it's to do with the numbers and to do with the signups for those evil factions. I'll save it if you guys want to watch it. You can watch the full video and get the full analysis. But this was the picture that I was kind of like relying on the fact that in season 1, roleplay, you had this breakdown of players for good and evil. And then in season 2, the places have changed, but you've still got the same amount of probably evil players. Okay, some people might have switched from good to evil, but equally, you might have any players switching from evil to good. So you can't really, overall, you'd imagine that the numbers are going to probably follow sort of this type of pattern. So season 3, you've now got 50% good, 50% evil spaces, but you've only got a comparative factor of 33.3% of those are evil players. So it's a really, really crazy situation. And you're right, who said about maybe reducing faction size might be one way of dealing with it. I'm scrolling up now. I can't follow it, but yeah, okay. I think there might be reduced places in factions just to try and get those good players switched around a little bit, because it's going to be needed. But yeah, there we go. That's why I think it's a bad idea for the changes. But we will see. Imagine those with Witch King and Convener. Jesus, yeah. They're going to be scary. There's going to be some scary, scary builds with those warlords. I'm not looking forward to it, especially when we start to see more evil units and more special units with the changes to the special unit abilities. Is going to open up those builds for everybody much easier. So we can... where did I put that? Oh, we can see it on my list. On my list of season 3 changes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5th one down, the green one. So the changes for neutral unit tiles. There's going to be fewer neutral unit tiles available on the board, but when you take one, you have the option where you can you control the keep. I think the key later on seemed to be you have to control the keep, and then controlling the keep will allow you to have some abilities where you can then build the field barracks. And if you build the field barracks of the relevant troop, then it opens up to all members of the faction. So no more rushing around for those tiles, no more everybody having to do paths to the other side of the map and getting an alliance fortress and transferring your troops over. No more, that won't happen. You can effectively now easily share special unit troops much easier, because let's say I'm traveling to the other side of the map, I only actually technically need one person to do that route. Obviously, it's not super defensive, but that one person can go over. They can take over the special unit tile, take over whichever city gives you the relevant link for it, and then open it up to everybody. So in the video, they showed Hobbiton, and somebody got like a Hobbit Slingers or something, and then they could unlock from Hobbiton. I don't know whether it came naturally or they had to unlock it. Then they could get the field barracks. As long as the field barracks is alive, everybody in your faction get access to that special unit. That's going to be crazy, crazy. Everybody's going to have way more access to all of the special units. Way more access. So, yes, expect everybody that you come across to be fighting with the scary build options that you can get. Everybody's going to have mummy kills now. Everybody's going to have eagles, in factions. So in a way, I liked it. I made it green on my list of changes because I think that's good. I thought it was a shame that they had special units that you couldn't. They had special units that you couldn't get to. Special units that a handful of people could get. Oh, the elves. Sorry, I'm just quickly switching here. The elves. I thought this might happen. They did declare war. They declared war probably to try and take a couple more tiles, but before they do that, they needed to clean these forts out here of Eden. Otherwise, they potentially would have lost their capital city. So they are preparing a mass push now with 1 day to go. And keep an eye on these numbers. But we'll see. I mean, why they waited to declare war to kill these when it's in their area? They could have just killed that themselves. But yeah, whatever. Varric Tier 4 is literally the evil version of Ram Riders. But the good thing about Ram Riders is you've got so many other cavalry options. You can make it into a good army build. You can use them with bow riders and you've got a solid damage dealing option, you can use them with cataphracts, or you can use them with cavaliers if you want, damage or slightly more tankier. If you're Rohan, you've got options. If you've got Bree riders near, you've got options. You've got all these cavalry options that are actually pretty solid builds, whereas evil factions, you're way more restricted on what you can go with the Variax tier 4 cavalry unit option. I reckon it'll be a slower hiring time. You have to unlock them by upgrading the keep. Okay, yeah, so I mean that makes sense. Yeah, unlock them by, that's kind of what I saw in the video. They got it and unlocked it in Hobbiton. So you grab the keep, you grab one of the tiles, special unit tiles, and then everybody in your faction can unlock them. So it's going to be a bit easier because say you've got two factions and you're both looking to have the same special units. One faction, you can make an agreement. One faction can just take the keep, unlock it, take one tile and unlock it for everybody. And then the other ally or friend, that they can take all the rest of the tiles and you're not worried about fighting about them. So should be quite interesting. I think that's going to be a good change. There's too many units in the game that people didn't have access to, and it just it seemed a bit silly, all these special units, and nobody was able to use them. Got all the mosquitoes coming out. Oh well. I don't know what's going on with that color. Why here it changes to light, and then as soon as I go down here, it goes dark. I don't quite understand what's going on here. The capital city is dark, and then I get some light. How crazy is that? What's the reason for that? Is that just... I've never noticed that before. I've never noticed this line in which the things go light, dark. What is that? Okay, well, let me know. Is that just my server? Is that just something weird for me? Or does it happen for you as well? Just near the Elven capital. You can see all the elves coming out to play. Where have they been for the last, 3 months? No, that's a bit harsh. Where have they been for the last 2 or 3 weeks? It looks like they decided not to play until now. Yeah, I think these all the elves and one faction from Gondor, they're going to all go together to play Linden next season, which is kind of interesting because that's going to put them all the way over here. And I think one of the other strong good guy factions is going to be over here in Erebor. So you're going to have two fairly strong good guy factions, but completely on the opposite side of the map, so we won't have to fight for quite a fair while. Look at this, where they all come from. This reminds me very early on in the season where they took our capital. Lot took our capital, and they just had about 150 armies very early on, and just overwhelmed us. But this season, Fog of War. Is it Fog of War though? I thought I got line of sight from my allies, because I can see these armies. So there's no Fog of War. And here's my fort, and I still got the Fog of War. And then I go over here, and now it lights up. Wow, there are tons of them. Wow, I'm kind of slightly impressed, but also feel, why have you guys waited till 1 day left? I feel like you're not going to have a huge impact there. I just moved my troops as well. I moved my troops earlier on today. I should have left them there just to get some fighting on the go, but never mind. I missed out on that fight. Maybe they will come over to DG at some stage and have a fight. From here, it's possible. It's possible they will come over. Sorry, I keep realizing that I've got... sorry, show whole map, please. Sorry, yeah, I need to take this Season 3 note off. I'll come back to talking about the rest of the points on there. That is my map so far with 1 day left to go. We have an agreement, Linden and Rohan. Linden would end up in first place with the territories, so we've handed over some territories to them, and we would have the ring and finish second. We'll see whether that upholds, whether Linden try to go for it at the end. It's possible that Lothlorien should be able to take this city back. No, sorry, clear these city fairly easy. There's only like a pile of 15, a pile of 10. There's nothing massively big over there. They should be able to take the city back and clear it. And then I'm guessing they will try and take 2 territories, so they at least get that 100 reward. Maybe. I have to say, one of my biggest issues, and I mean to keep adding this into a video for it, I think the season rewards are terrible. I think they are truly, truly terrible. I don't think I've ever seen a game with such terrible, terrible rewards for winning the game. Because, put it this way, right? You end up, if you work your socks off and you play the best tactical game possibly and you become the winner, the maximum reward you can get is 1,400 of these tokens. So you spent 2 months, you fought 9 other enemy factions to become the one winner of the game. And in the end, you can get pretty much like 1 of the weapon or armor and some other bits of trash. Yeah, wow, it's so disappointing. I mean, even like the mithril piles here, you can get 1. You get 1 legendary. I've never even got 1 of these before. You can get 2 or 2 for 100, 200, 200. Like, Jesus, what is this? What is this for a reward? It's terrible. And this weapon is shocking. I'm sorry, this weapon is absolutely terrible. Good guys, I mean, Maiar and Undead. I mean, so most of the Maiar guys you've got are mage based and focus based, so they give you a weapon that has might and attack. Great, a weapon with might and attack. Thank you very much, game devs. Like, literally the worst weapon possible that I can imagine. There is 0 use that I would have for this weapon. So it's just disappointing. It's just disappointing. You work your ass off and the rewards are horrific. I mean, and for everybody else, where's the rest of the prizes? Okay, so let's say you've joined the game, you're stuck with what you've got, you've probably got your ring power, and you desperately fight back to get your own city and 2 other territories, and you get this 300. So you end up with 400 points. And then, okay, if you end up in the top 4 ranks, you might get 100, 200, or 300. So let's say 200. So you probably can get like maybe 500 or 600 for most factions. Is around about it. Between 4 to 5 for the actives, is going to be around about there. So you can go into your prizes, you can fight your ass off for the month, and then you've got 400 or 500 points to spend on this horrific table. Like what? You're gonna spend 100 and probably get these 2 Matham tokens, and then what? Are you really gonna get like 2 or 1 of these? You're probably just gonna end up saving your stuff to save. Like, realistically, these rewards are pathetic. They're really bad. And to be honest, I don't even really like the mithril coat. I think the mithril coat is a bit disappointing. The one stat I really don't want to get massive boosts on is defense, because, and we talked about it before, there's gateway scores of defense at 40 and 80. And once you're past 80, the bonus defense gives you such trivial extra bonuses that it's really bad stat to have. So, yeah, mithril coat is just disappointing for me. Who are you playing next season? Hopefully Erebor next season. At least you can use it to strengthen. Yeah, exactly. That's it. You're going to spend 1,000. You're going to buy it, and then you're just going to use it to strengthen something else. If you're a good faction, you win. I mean, maybe there's some builds with it for undead, but I'm not undead, so great. I've got a weapon that I can't use, or I've got a piece of armor that I don't really want to use because it's pretty terrible, or I've got upgrade items which are horrifically overpriced and you need so many of them, and I've got very few characters even to respect 10 anyway at this stage, or 2 Matham token. I mean, it'd only be good if you could buy these multiple times and I could just go Matham token, I'll just get like that 14 times. It's the only good thing. So season rewards need shaking up. 2 months of fighting and the rewards are really dire. Really dire. I mean, you're talking about one faction maybe getting a gold weapon each, or gold armor piece each. There's not particularly anything special for rewards, so yeah, that's my rant anyway. Ooh, 22 armies now. Oh, they're trying. Bless them. like I say, last one day, everybody else seems mostly quiet. 1 day and 4 hours left. I think most groups have had their last war declaration up. So Rohan have quite a fair few groups preparing for war. Mordor, their big group, are at war for 4 hours, and then that's dropped. Gondor, one of their big groups, is at war. I think the other one has finished. Loth, I think, are declaring war. Maybe Yadu, that's the one they're just about to drop. Most of the other guys are not too scary. I'll send ours just for the hell of it, just to have war up for the last day. Not really going to be using it. And really, Elves the only one that have been here until the end, actually. Like I said, to be honest, Elves have been incredibly strong. They just had a terrible middle of the season. They had really strong early on. They controlled pretty much all of this central map. They had like good relations with Gondor and Mordor to triple team Rohan. They had good relations with Angmar, and Angmar spread all the way along the top. And they just had such a good season, and then it just flipped, and everything's gone terrible. It's been really, really bad for them. They got cut down to this one territory. But like I said, early on, maybe the second week or third week, they came down and there were at least, not attacking, not players active, there were about 150 armies, as in, like some people had multiple. There was like 150 came down there early on, and we didn't have enough. They just swarmed through there and just took all of this territory off us. But then the middle of the season just went terrible for them, and now they've ended up with just one territory. But you can see here, last day to go, 29, there's a beehive of all these red lines. They've decided that now, 1 day to go, they're gonna try and do something. Lots of armies. The problem is they don't have the resources for a long, drawn-out war. So their armies that they start to lose. Obviously, they've probably got full barracks and lots of resources available at the moment. But as they start losing those, it probably will start to get a little bit costly for them. As you can see, 33 lots of armies. So, I mean, lots of them the same players with multiple armies moving around. But we'll see. We'll see how well they do. I think that they will. They'll destroy everything around the city. Like I said, it's important. They need to do it. They need to clear out all of these forts if they want to make a push, because they can't try and take two of the territories to get the extra bonus if their capital city is at risk, because they could end up just losing their capital city. So it does make sense. They need to clear out this, and then they've got like a 24-hour period to try and get 2 more cities if they want the rewards. Alternatively, they might move everything to the ring, but I think they'll struggle a little bit more over here because there are 420-ish armies here already, plus whatever else is in forts and stuff lying around. So there's like an emergency supply of about 500. Let's have a look here. Blaze on people, trash rewards overall. I'm so disappointed with the rewards. Not 2 months, it's 4. Season 2 has been since October. Yeah, sorry, I am forgetting. Yeah, it has carried on, and it's just been really weird this season. It's just been some teams have got hit and just completely wiped out in succession, and we were lucky in that we were the first ones to get smashed. So we were destroyed down to these 2 territories, and everybody absolutely destroyed us. And then we were like wiped out the game, and that kind of actually did us a huge benefit. We probably wouldn't have won if it weren't for that, because it allowed us to consolidate, focus, and then when everybody started turning on each other, we could just steamroll back up. And then we were lucky that Angmar and Linden sort of like we formed this good alliance to trash everybody. And then Gondor, Loth. Loth got triple teamed, so they got utterly wiped to nothing. Gondor and Mordor got flanked from both sides, and they lost everything. So they were screwed up in the middle section of the game. Gondor and Mordor have been able to rebuild because they formed naps. But Angmar up here, they were just they got hit last by everybody, by Lyndon, by Rohan, by Mordor, by Gondor, because Angmar controlled Mordor and Gondor's capital. Those two control those two. So those two fought back, and as did Lyndon, as did Rohan. So everybody basically just hit, and then Angmar were the ones that got screwed at the end, and they just haven't been able to rebuild. And obviously, you can see Gondor and Mordor have begun to rebuild. They're in a fairly okayish position. So it's just at which stage you get screwed over and annihilated. Lyndon have done pretty well there. They struggled against Angmar early on. Angmar nearly got all the way to their capital in the first 10 days or so, but they managed to push them back, held their own. They were having some skirmish fights and problems up here with Angmar, so it might work to our benefit. We might not get backstabbed by Lyndon if they have to maintain a threat up here against Angmar, and I think we'll be okay even if Loth, Gondor, and Mordor decided to all go for the ring. I think we probably got enough to hold those three off, but we'll see. Commander invite would be nice. I would like more commander invites or anything that's more useful. Let me just... I'll go back to that fight, seeing as it's what you really want. I know I said I wouldn't normally stream fights that I'm at, but to be honest, I don't think it's a particularly important fight. I think everybody's expecting them to have to come and take the capital, otherwise they wouldn't be able to expand and get the reward. So it does not surprise me. That should fall fairly quick. Tons of armies all coming over here. I'll leave it on here just so we can watch it progress. Commander invite would be nice. Flop says, hello, Tikosh. Hope you are doing really well. Except we're going to have a look again at the season. We're kind of looking at the fights and general chatting and then flipping over to the season 3 stuff as well at the same time. Come on, all watching, no one like. Are we still going to have the 2-day downtime after cutoff? I'm guessing so, because they seem to like putting the first server usually comes online on the Thursday. A horrible time for me personally. But it seems to be following along that type of line where they're going to take the game down, have the 2 days, and probably come back up on the Thursday again, which would match this time period, right? The game's going to go down in 1 day, so for me that's Monday, so maybe 3 days, maybe 3 days downtime. I would suspect that they won't start until the end, because they have to do the season rewards. So they cut off, do the season rewards, and you get 2 days to buy the things with your season reward points. Your 300 season reward points. You have to choose which of the crap things that you're going to buy, the pointless crap things. So they always say there will be a small period of time after the cutoff. Which is where you analyze and look at mechanics. Well, if only you're more active day clip or so. Basically, I hit a bit of a well, this season went on for so long over the Christmas period. I kind of got burnt out a little bit. I was like, where is the end to this season? What the hell is going on? So I did struggle, and I've also not been a huge fan of a lot of the season 2 changes. Nice. It's taken me a while to get through that burnout a bit, so I'm catching up. So if you noticed today, I did the video for Eldan. Eldan's video came out today, and I've got Imrahil's ready to come out as well. So he'll probably be out in the next 2 days. I also have Thorin's out ready to go. I just want to stagger the releases. So Imrahil's ready, Thorin's out, and I want to do a full video on the season 3 update changes. So those 3 videos probably all going to be out this week. I've already got my plans. And then there's also maybe going to be one that says why the season 2 heroes are all terrible. And I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a bit grumpy, but I feel like I can get away with it. Season 3 is coming, so I can be super happy and cheerful about the season 3 changes, be a bit analytical about some of the changes, but then I can just look back at season 2 and go, what the hell were you doing, devs? How terrible was all of this crap that we had? It was crap. Seriously, a lot of the season 2 stuff was terrible, right? Eladan is not a good character. Imrahil is equally worse. Yeah, Thorin is in mediocre level tier 3 commander, and the new guy is also terrible. The new guy is utterly shocking as well. So just every single good guy tier 3 was tier 2 and tier 3 was bad. Okay, and again, I'm going to look at this in a video, but season 1, you already had those characters. You were already getting the favors. You were already doing the tips. You were already unlocking stuff and sort of getting towards having these characters. Season 2 stuff comes out. It's new. You're back down to 0. Okay, you could max out the boxes if you were going to invest whatever $100 and you're going to get the character. Okay, for those people, they could get the character fairly easily. But I mean, the same happened in season 1. You could already had all these characters. So season 2 could come and you could spend that money on other boxes and other things without necessarily having to unlock that terrible character. In effect, both times I've done it, I bought out the boxes for the characters in season 2. I did not spend them on the characters. I bought characters, favor, and I traded them all in for tier 3. Yeah, that's how bad they were. That's how utterly terribly bad they were. Because Eldan's all over the place. Again, Eldan's video, I updated it a couple of hours ago onto my page. After this, if you've got time, go and watch it and just see how bad he is as a character. He's just everything all over the place. And he has 3 skills that are my least favorite skills of all time. Let me see if I can. I'll grab an image from my video that I posted up before. Which one sums everything up? Probably the final one that this is my final. I know normally, like whenever I do a video, I go through 2 skill trees that go together, 2 skill trees that go together, and how you can do the builds and how the synergy and everything works, and you can have multiple builds, and it's funky and fun. Eldan was horrific. He just wasn't like this at all. His trees were all over the place. Everything did something completely different, and there was just no cohesion. There was no synergy. I was just like, what the hell are they playing at? These are the 4 tables that you had available, and you have, like I said, 4 of the worst skills in the world that I put big crosses through. I was like, March is terrible. I don't want March speed. Leader, gain experience from battles. I don't want to waste 7 points on that. Reinforcements. I don't want to waste 7 points on that terrible skill about a heal right towards the end of the battle that's going to make so little impact. So those 3 are all gone, and they're all from the Respect 0 tables. So if you've got him Respect 0 to 2, sorry, you're screwed. You've got 3 tables that are utter crap. Which then leaves you with the rest, and you've really got to have him leveled up. You've got to have him up to level 5 to get to Elven Rider table before you even get some skills. And then all of a sudden, Elven Rider, you get mounted skills, 2 skills for mounted that there's nothing else in the rest of the trees for. There's just no synergy. You have Half Elven and Boon, which is the dice roll gamble about you might get might bonus. You've got Coalition, which is another one of my skills that I'm not particularly too huge a fan of, because unless you're using men, then it makes a little difference for elves. And then you've got 2 DPS options of Grey Company and Flanking on the left-hand side. It's just madness. His table, it just does not make sense. It's just like they lacked focus. They had no idea what they wanted to do. That's all I can have for this table. He's dreadful. He's dreadful. But sorry, I'm in a ranty mood. Let me catch up here. Your season was similar to mine. I was Rohan 2. We pulled it back mid-late after going down early. Yeah. It seems to be a fairly consistent thing. Whatever the word is. Consistent theme going through. Oh, they're really waking up. Watching your season 3 video right now. Cutoff is the 8th of the 2nd, and season 3 is the 10th of the 2nd. Okay. So yeah, it's Thursday for me. Yeah, okay, so it just follows the pattern. It's a terrible time to go up. Widowmaker. Hey, Widowmaker. How you doing? Hope you're all right. You watching this massacre? Well, not really massacre. I mean, most of these are empty forts. They have finally tried to go for that big pile over there. Like, they just got to hope that they don't have a whole load of resources saved up. Oh, who's going to attack me? That's not very nice. Some random guy I've never even heard of. Upos onions. Yeah, thank you, dude. 54. I mean, a lot of these armies are probably just going to be fort busters, but they are trying. I told everyone like a couple of days ago, take the city. Would make it a little bit more difficult, but no, they don't want to do it. So fine. Philippi. I went to the other new guy. Sorry, whilst I'm ranting about the new guys, let's have a look at this new guy. And also, part of the reason why I think the season 2 commanders are terrible is because they all have the same bloody stuff. Not just the stuff that I don't like. They've all got the same bloody stuff. This guy also has Grey Company, so he also has damage dealing, reinforcements, and flanking. So, okay, I actually kind of like Grey Company. I like flanking, so that's okay. But come on, reinforcements, get out of here. And he's got War Chant for damage reduction. He's got a relief heal. Oh, this is what it was. He's got over here, he's got damage skills and damage skills. Nothing modified by might, though. And then he's got heal down here, relief, and he's got another heal down here with debuff removal. This is affected by focus. Okay, so he's got damage with a heal, terrible heal, and he's got buffs and heals. Then he has this also half Elven tree in the tier 3. So he's got Grey Company and he's got half Elven, the same as his brother. What's the point? Why give me 2 characters and then give them 2 trees with exactly the bloody same? So just like Elladan, he's got half Elven, he's got Boon, and he's got Coalition. The same set of skills here, you know, is rinse, repeat. Just so lack of I mean, Elladan's not a good character. So then they decided to, I'll tell you what, we're going to release the brother of Elladan and we're going to make him just as terrible. So you got to get into tier 5 before you get loyal followers, which is a kind of funny option. If you get all the way up to R5, you can start to play with them, and you have a skill that works. And he's got damage reduction from madness, which I don't like. You know, you've got to be mad, and then you take a slight damage reduction and rage units. You know, see, I mean, it's still a bit all over the place. He's got these 2 trees that are the same. Then he's got heal bills down here, and he's got damage unit buff up here. So he has the same problem. A mixed tree. He doesn't have synergy. Yeah, he's got over here, he's got damage dealing and a terrible heal. He's got some heals and a debuff and a damage boost. Then tier 3, he's got the gamble of the might or the focus, but nothing really for it to work on. He's got the damage of physical damage or physical damage received debuff. Maximum coalition, only really useful for men because elves have small variance. Then loyal followers, you've got to get to here to have this tree, and then there's not much you can mix it with because there's no other tables that are built for it. He's just rubbish. He's all over the place. And I've got Imrahil's video ready to go. He's also terrible. And he also has reinforcements there, and he has sort of like a terrible tree here. Just a bit of everything. You know, nothing that's great, anything. It's just a bit all over the place. And again, you've got a game with tier 5, and all of a sudden it becomes useful for mounted units now, with stun and madness immunity for cataphracts and swan knights. Yeah, with extra hit points. So again, he's got to get to tier 5 to be useful, and then he's mounted. And again, this is one of the big problems. If you've been starting from season 1, you've probably got Theoden, or you've been working towards Theoden. He's such a powerful character. You've been getting the stuff towards him. Then all of a sudden, season 2 comes along and it says, right, okay, well, we're going to offer you the chance to unlock this guy. But actually, he's terrible at R1, and you're going to have to spend money and invest him just to get him up to R5 to get access to the mounted units that will make him even feasible for a mounted unit. And then still you'll be looking at it thinking, well, at this stage I could have had Theoden at rank 5, and who would I prefer? I don't know. Catching up with the messages, sorry. Did you see Cerdon, the new good tier 3? Apparently at R1 he is pairing with Lyndon tier 4, but then in R5 he has a huge roll dice of getting either avoidance, pursuit, or follow-up. Jeez. Interesting. The problem is both pursuit and follow-up don't work with Lyndon tier 4. They already have pursuit, and follow-up doesn't work with them because they don't do normal attacks. I've not had a look. I saw the stuff had been released. I've not looked through the new characters yet. I was going to do a comment video on him, and I thought I'll save. I try and do stuff like this when I first watch it. So it was the same with the evil faction rant video today. I waited until I was going to make the video, and then once I had the video up, then I watched it, and then I could comment for it immediately straight after. And then my emotions are live. If I feel angry or I have something to say, then I'll just say it. That is a gamble. Avoidance, pursuit, or follow up. That's a massive gamble. And I don't really like something when it's 50% chance. 50% chance for me. Maybe not for damage. For something like Legolas, I can get by. 50%. He attacks every turn with his normal rounds. I know it's going to trigger whatever so many of the times. Half of it, I'm okay. I'm happy with it. But something like a skill effect triggering is so scary for me. So scary about whether it's gets one thing or the other. Like I said before with Elladan getting might or focus, that's such a big difference, such a huge difference for your character build and what you're going to do with them. And to have the triple potential chance of having avoidance, pursuit, or follow up, that makes such a big difference. Such a big difference. Avoidance, see more stuff with avoidance would be good because there's not a whole load of stuff with avoidance. Pursuit less so. Pursuit's now become fairly trashy. There's not a whole load of point to it. I mean, even then, the items or gear sets that have it, like for the first 2 or 3 rounds, you have a chance of having avoidance or the first hit stuff. It's nothing too scary. Follow up is grim as hell though. If you can get follow up, then it's going to be end of days. The problem is both. So it's just atrocious how the devs fail to understand their own game. Definitely, and in season 2, I feel like that's been more so. In season 2, I feel like it's been terrible lack of consideration over the commanders. And to be fair, they've gone the wrong way that I thought they would. Most games like this, you see a clear progression. They know season 2 we want to be selling these commanders, so we're going to make them slightly better, and then people will buy more packs and they'll get the stuff. It seems to be in their best interest to make them even just slightly better than season 1 stuff. That didn't happen. The season 2 stuff was tragic. So that's something that confuses me a bit. If the stuff is not better, why are you going to go for it? Now we're getting into season 3. People have had 2 seasons to collect stuff. People are getting most of their tier 2 commanders unlocked, or getting the ones that they want up to higher levels. They've started to figure things out, shift things around. They bought boxes. They did the season pass thing, or they did the generic season rewards, or the Christmas stuff, and all those things where they can slightly work towards what they want. So why bring out something and say, here we go, guys, this is a random. It might be good, it might be bad. If you're playing this faction, it might be okay. Come on, buy packs, get it. Where's the incentive? Where is the incentive? Hi there, maybe the first time I'm commenting. Hello, Endurance. Good to see you, but you're not here. You're not here at this big battle. With all these armies, now I don't get an update of how many evil armies are moving around. Sad times. Yeah, like I said, I'm a bit surprised. I moved my armies out about 12 hours ago because we got maybe a bit more. I think we got into the 2-day period, and then I thought, I'll move everything to DG just in case. But I did have 6 armies here. Moved it, and then they decided to attack after I'd relocated everything. So that's a shame. They need to give King Aragon scaling on his tier 5 attack like Theoden, and he will be usable. To be fair, they should reevaluate all of the commanders at this stage. They shouldn't just keep releasing new ones. Oh wait, somebody just put that. Sorry, I don't know. Larik said we must have some sort of mind connection going on because you posted that, and I don't know. Maybe my eyes just automatically read onto the row below. I would definitely 100% agree with you on that one. Yes, there needs to be a balancing or a review on the characters that haven't worked, the abilities that haven't worked, and they can clearly see there must be statistics available for them to see which commanders people are using, which one's getting used. Because I know that because the season information log of your previous season. How do I access that? I can't remember how you access it, but there is a button somewhere where you can check your previous season's achievements, and you can see how many times you've used each commander. So I'm sure they must keep track of that. So it must be easy for them to access that information keep a check of it and then see which commanders are being used and which ones just aren't being used. Because I tell you, there are some commanders that literally must be never, ever used, at all. There's some here, I mean, PvP used. There's some in here that I've had unlocked, and apart from like farming or not mock battles, gathering or something like that, I've just never used them. I don't think I've ever used Ori, other than, like I said, gathering or what have you. I don't think I've ever used him. I've used Hergon. I've pretty much never really used Boromir, Faramir, maybe like once or twice last season. I don't really think... Oh no, I did. I used Merry and Pippin last season. Actually, I used Merry and Pippin a lot last season. As for the tier 2s... Last season I used Aragorn. This season I've never used him. I've never used Frodo and Sam. I've never used Denethor. You can start to get an idea. And I've never used Imrahil since I got him. Even if I had any of these elves, I wouldn't use them. And that's a problem. There's a problem if you've got such clear characters that are unusable and unplayable. And even arguably some of the tier 3s need balancing, because there are some that are clearly weaker than other ones. I've nearly got Galadriel up to 4. One more level to go before next season, if I can, if possible. And I'm nearly there with Thorin as well. I've got two of my packs to upgrade, so I can choose which one. But yeah, they just need to review and look at it. It surely can't be that much difficult. It's surely easier to look at it, look at the maths, and bring a little bit more balance to the game. Because every season is going to be the same. Next season, I can tell you, hands down, I know. Everybody that's a whale, everybody that's powerful will have a super ridiculous Galadriel wandering around with 650 to 700 focus. Then you're going to have a load of people up in Erebor. They're going to have Danes walking around doing crazy DPS damage with a whole load of tank builds. You're going to have Gandalf the White walking around. I can already see it, and there's nothing to suggest that change. There is going to be no change. There'll be no change unless either there's more units that work with certain commanders are available, or there's a rebalanced stat change. That's the important thing. Which they got, okay. Some content creators got sneak peeks in the build room. Yeah, I know that. There was some pictures and links going around. They did ask people not to share that, but yeah, there we go. What can you do? Yeah, no, I'm at the Dome. War is over, and I had enough fighting elves the whole season. I mean, you say that now. But I would say that's probably about 60 or 70-ish armies. So where are they going to go now? Their war's just about to be declared. Their capital is now safe. So where are they going to go? And the worrying thing would be if they decide just to hop over here to DG and start to cause some problems, because DG is not massively fortified. We've got just over 410 armies. But when we took it, last time, Lyndon had about 1,500 there. We had about 2,200, 2,300. So we got nowhere near the same amount there. So my worry is, and I've been saying this for about the past month, is if Lothlorien, who have nothing to do, along with Mordor, who haven't really been doing anything, and along with Gondor, all decide just to make that very short trip up to DG in the next day, and make a fight for it, because everybody is too busy defending pointless territories or fighting in the fight dome down here. That would be my fear. My deep worry is we lose DG because of a little bit of apathy, which would be it would be a bit disappointing. I think we still come second in the territories though, and there's not really much to buy, so whatever. Which 2 evil commanders will be added? Like I said, I've not looked through the commander releases. I've just been following them slowly, and I deliberately haven't looked at them yet. I don't think their skills are out anyway, are they? I can't remember what they do when they release them. Usually, they don't tell you enough of the information to tell you whether they're a good build or not. They're vague at best. Yeah, actually, that's a lot of elf armies. That's yeah, probably bordering. Oh, getting up towards 100 or so, including the stuff down here, and 14 on the city. Let's have a look. It's interesting, they've hardly really posted anything for the last few days. Now all of a sudden they've all started to come out. Most of them are actually okay. Most of the elf players are okay. They've got some really, really big mouth. I think everybody has it. These guys are pretty much okay. Yeah, those elves are okay. They're good elves. But there's some really offensive elves. Let me catch up on the chats. There is such a huge difference between getting a Galadriel and an Elrond letter, and it's very grim considering how random those are. Imagine getting... Yeah, it is. But I haven't got my Galadriel letter. I've nearly got it to tier 4. So, I mean, there are ways around it. I've just been using a lot of the exchanges and stuff. But, yeah, if you take a look, you will see I've only received my Thorin unlock. So I mean, it would be nice if I could get my Galadriel invite. That would be pretty tasty. I wouldn't say no to that. That plus 9,000 would solve a lot of my problems at the moment trying to get her up. But otherwise, I'll just have to hope that she pops up in my exchange for Mathams next season or before, so I can get it to 5. But you are right. Yeah, it's a huge difference. Yeah, and it's kind of a bit unfair for people who just get her unlocked. But I suppose that even then, you get it to R0, you need to put Investor still a little bit yet just to get her up to R5 because she's not particularly good until then. She just soups up at R5. I want to list Aragon as a potential replacement for Owen to less my reliance on Cav commanders. That makes sense. I mean, I'm going to run with 1 next season and Theoden as my cavalry. I may run Eowyn just because I've got her at 10 anyway, so I've already got the special item accessory. And I just don't like any of the other tier 2 Cav commanders, but we'll see. I mean, I'm going to be playing Dwarf, so I probably don't need more than 1, maybe max 2, we'll see. I'm not sure if he will compete, though. I'm not a huge fan of Aragon, but I'd rather use something like Gandalf, personally. 2 evil commanders for Season 3 are both Nazgul. They showed the tier 0 skills for them today, buffing Reapers in a nice way. Okay, so it depends on the rest of the build and how it goes up to there. According to Intel, I don't think a move is planned nor possible from one of these factions, but I got ones there too just in case. My worry isn't from one. My concern is if like all 3 were to push there. But like I said earlier on, I think if Angmar and Lyndon are up here and they are fighting, then it might be okay because that's a big pin there. Then they might not have the chance to send stuff down. I think we could probably take Loth, Gondor, and Mordor as long as a few hundred more armies reposition over there. Aragon 2 can scale with proper gear. Yeah, I've seen Aragon do pretty well. It's just that over dependence on good gear versus maybe like characters where I don't need to have super good gear, but I can still pull out significant damage numbers. Like say for example, I can pull 300,000-ish from my Legolas. No, probably not 300,000. Maybe a little bit less. But getting there, and my Legolas gear is nowhere near that. Yeah, my Legolas gear is mid, 4-3, 3-3, 2-2, and 2-0 for my gear. So and not super high up on respect, but he still can pack a punch. Yeah, he's still one of my backup characters. I got that yesterday. You lucky sod widow. I would give anything because, like I said, I'm desperately trying to get her up just to 5 for next season. She's just on the cusp of hitting 4 now. I think it's like 3,000, is it, to get her up to 4 to 5? So I've got 2 of those chests, so I've got 600 there. I just need a couple more of her favors or some trade-ins. And yeah, still going for it. What time is it in Germany? It is 7 hours, so it's like 10 o'clock in Germany. I do this group, they're mainly German, so it's primarily them. So I guess they're doing a big attack before they go to bed. Hopefully, they won't be on much tomorrow. That's a fair chunk of armies. So the question is, what are they going to do? Well, first off, how much stamina was used there? Because if they used a fair chunk of stamina, then they're going to need 2 or 3 hours before they can do another big push. The second one will be which cities are they planning to go for next? We will see. There's mainly Linden ones. They could go for Upper Anduin. Like I said, they need to get 2 more cities and hold on to them until tomorrow. But we will see. We'll see what happens. I quite like Legolas. He's probably. I should switch probably next season to Gimli, but because I've got Legolas a little bit higher at 5. Wait, where's Gimli? Gimli's only 3. Yeah, so sorry, Gimli, but I should be working on it, to be honest, because Gimli scales much better at higher levels. So, yeah, we'll see. Like I said, I've not upgraded any of these really beyond where I had them at the start of the season, because I've been trading all of their favors in to get the Galadriel, because she was so scary this season early on that I thought I've got to start Galadriel season next season at 5 for that game changing. So I definitely need to. But next season we'll see. But like I said, unless the season 3 commanders are better than what's currently available, then I'll just buy out the boxes and then trade it in for the other commander stuff anyway. Whatever. That Legolas poison damage is very big, I feel, and Chris has completely taken over the server right now. They're letting their allies Mordor live, and maybe Erebor wipe everyone else as of today. Ouch. I'm guessing you're right in the closing times. Ours just has switched into boredom. Yeah, for maybe the last. To be fair, it's been a really boring season. I've really struggled this season. Like just before Christmas, maybe like 2 weeks before Christmas, 3 weeks before Christmas, we got absolutely obliterated down to these 2, and everybody else was allied or friendly. So I kind of was like, okay, fine, I'm gonna half play a little bit. I'll take it easy. I'm busy with work, run up to Christmas, so it's fine. But then, like over the Christmas period, I just struggled again still. And then there was like a bit of excitement where we expanded, and I managed to get loads of territories, and I was fighting over here and fighting in different places, and it was exciting. But then they killed Angmar, Mordor, Gondor, Lothlorien were dead, and then everyone pushed up and killed Angmar, and everybody was dead. And it was just like, okay, what else is there to do for the next month? So it's just been a bit dull. And I'm not entirely sure why. Possibly the length. I think we were a bit unlucky. Maybe the game devs didn't time it properly. That it shut. They had Chinese New Year, so last week they couldn't really shut it like a week or 2 before Chinese New Year. They probably wanted to make sure they were available for everything that changed. But really, this game should have changed seasons like last month. Really should have gone last month. Would you go Legolas over Gimli for high respect? I think Legolas damage drops at R3. Gimli can do higher up. Yes, you are 100% right. And it's because Legolas only has 2 damage tables. So when you look at Legolas, he only has his Greenleaf table here for damage, and Elven Prince table here for damage. The rest of his stuff doesn't boost up his attacks. You get just stuff for units, for elves, and for ranged units. Elves and dwarves damage, melee damage, and dwarf protect. So the rest of the tables don't really have any useful for superpowering you up anymore. You can only max these 2 tables. Once these 2 tables are done and your gear is maxed, then that's it. That's as good as you're going to get. The rest is just for your units. But you are right with... Yeah, here we go. You have the three tables on. You go to R5. You've got his experienced warriors for boosting his normal attack damage, plus his after he attacks damage dealt bonus modifier for 2 rounds. So the rest of your stuff does more damage. Your next attack does more damage. And then collaboration, normal attacks do extra physical damage. Then Durin's Blood, skill damage bonus. And then Whirlwind, 2 damages, prioritizing melees. And then all in attacks. And then at 5, you can then take against enemy melee units damage buff when you're hitting their melee units. And then break defenses. Another physical damage attack with defense reduction, and then open wound for the attack that stops them from healing. So you've got access to 3 trees. Also, something like Gimli, you can really power him up with things like what did I get today? This Elven white knife here. Which is a really, really nice weapon for things like this. So at max level, each round, your commander has a 90% chance to gain follow-up. So 2 normal attacks this round, but the damage dealt of each normal attack is minus 50%. So you take 50% reduction, 50% reduction. But you're super powered up from all those scary buff increases anyway. And then like 9 out of 10 times, you get the follow-up attack, you attack twice. With that huge like plus whatever it is, 600% damage and minus 50%, so it's still a nice scary damage. Scary, scary, scary. I was tempted to use Elven White Knife next season on just this problem here, army attack elves. So maybe I'm tempted to go with Thorin next season, maybe. Oh wait, no, Thorin. I'm trying to remember now. Is Thorin's skill attack damage? Let me check. I think it's skill based, isn't it? That's skill. Yeah, his skill damage, so it doesn't really work too well for him. Yeah, okay. So not for Thorin. You need something that boosts up his massive main attack so that you then get a second attack, still doing crazy damage. We can see the elves still hard at work here, clearing away the last of the tiles. They've done it. Good. We've managed to get the last seconds of that fight. They are now fortifying up, and we will see where the elves move to next. It will be interesting. Now they have fully taken control of their capital city. It is now secure. So they can be looking at territories nearby. They need to take 2 territories to get that extra season bonus. As we keep saying, that's terrible. Whilst we have a moment, I'm going to go back and look at the season 3 changes. So we were having a look before at not that one, wrong image. Let me remove that from my click button options. Season 3. Okay. So this is the season 3 changes that we were discussing before. Those season 3 changes that are going to come into it. We had a look at the new evil factions, Variags and Gundabad. I said for me personally, I don't think that's going to be good for the evil factions. I don't think having 6 evil factions is good. There's not the players on the older servers to fill those up. So you're now going to have Angmar, Variags, Gundabad, Rune and Mordor. You're going to have this huge amount of territory that's controlled by evil factions. They're not going to be full. They're not going to be able to defend all those territories. So actually, going Erebor for our group is going to be really good because you can guarantee at least 2, if not 3, of those faction areas near you are going to be fairly empty. They're going to be easy and open and ripe for expansion. There is no way the evil factions are going to be able to fill up Angmar, Rune, Variags, Gundabad, and Mordor. And they're 5 that are going to be relatively close to each other on the map. It's going to be good. Going to be really good. But bad for bad factions. Bad balance. When you look at certain areas, and some factions are going to be in the middle, and they're going to have a strong faction above them, a strong faction below them, a strong faction to the side of them. They're going to be fighting all those good factions where you've got that central area is going to be terrible. Gondor, Rohan. Okay, they're not too bad because they can push right and go into that same area of expansion. They're going to be okay to be able to claim Mordor, Rune. It's going to be all right for Erebor. They're going to be able to go into all of those other northern areas. The likes of Linden, Arnor, okay, if there's a weak Angmar, they're going to be able to expand that way. Or Isengard, they're going to be come down. So that's going to be the issue. That's going to be the issue. Did they lower faction caps? They're supposed to have lowered faction caps, but like I said, that you still have the same problem in that we don't have the same amount as evil and good players from season 1. We looked at that number stat before, if we've got it here. Yeah, that season 1 numbers of players that signed up for evil and good. So it doesn't matter, you can have faction caps reduced, that's fine. But there's still the same amount of good and evil factions. So there's the same amount of good and evil places on the whole server. But there's a huge difference in how many good and evil players there are on the roleplay servers. So you're going to have 1/3 of the player base going into 1/2 of the factions. So it doesn't matter how they balance it. There's still going to be places. Not filled up for people to go into. So that's going to be a huge problem. Huge problem for evil. Huge bonus for those factions that stay away and have nice places for territorial expansion. Yeah, basically it's going to be wherever you're going to end up with one faction with a very strong evil faction, maybe one faction half to full, and that's it. The rest of the other factions are going to be pointless, and everybody's going to mix into those other two. So 2 new evil factions for me, terrible idea. Absolutely terrible idea. Game devs, what are you thinking? It's way too... They needed to implement something to encourage people to change. Like we said early in season 1, the idea of having more evil commanders, matching an evil with a good commander, and you could switch factions and get the same amount of a paired commander would have allowed for infinite swaps. Would have been a really good idea, but they decided to do this mixed roleplay server bull crap, and for me it's not a very good solution. It's going to get continually worse as these seasons progress. Yeah, that problem, merging seasons servers together is not going to really have an impact because we have the same thing on all of these lower servers. It's the same thing. Yeah, all of them had the same problem from servers 1 to 80 from the original signups. So even if you're in an older server beyond that, you'll still start to see these problems because you've gone from having 40% before, for now, this season, on last season, you went from having 40% of evil players because you had 4 out of 10. Now you'll be going to 50%. So you'll have the same problem, just not to the same extent. Spawn point reduction and area size and fewer resources is going to be interesting. I'm not sure how it's going to do that. Maybe that will balance those people that begin the season early and they have more time on their hands and they can get out there and they can heavily farm stuff. Whether that's going to clip their wings a little bit or whether it's not and it's just going to be impossible. If you're not on in the first couple of hours to claim everything and level up like crazy, you're screwed because you're never going to be able to get those high-level resources. It could extrapolate that problem. So for me, that's a red issue. I don't think that's going to help people. I think that's going to cause another problem with server balance. And I think we're going to dislike the start of the next season with smaller faction amounts. You're still going to have those active players. You're still going to have those whales or the power players who are going to just grab everything up within sight, and everybody else is just going to be clamoring for nothing. So for me, those are 2 problems. Everybody looked at this season and went, we're struggling for tiles. Tiles are a problem. Now they've gone, well, okay, we understand, we see your problem, and next season I'm going to make it even worse for you guys to have tiles. Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. Let me just check. I'll check Taylor's alerts, but speed's still an issue. Yeah. I have him with the Hammer of Moria, Refined Dominant, weakens the enemy commander attack by 30%. Yeah, there are quite a lot of those hammers, and the there's the other one as well. Khazad-dûm one. There's quite a few that are really good for him. Arnold was terrible this season. It was. I'm surprised you guys didn't bail out of there. Why you stuck around for that, I'm not entirely sure. It seemed like that was a sinking ship early on. And a good guy factions have that same problem. Really now, if you've made that mistake in the second season, I think it's going to happen. People are going to wise up and just be like, okay, I'm going to take that territory loss and I'm going to move to where the victor is and whatever. at least to a faction with 2 or 3 full fellowships where you can maybe do something. One way I think they could balance factions is by making everyone pre-register what faction they want to choose, so they can see how many players are going and could fill the factions. Yeah, that would be good. Or pre-choose your fellowship. Maybe you can pre-choose your fellowship, and if your fellowship leader decides to go into one place, it'd be complicated to do, I suppose. And you would have to, like, when you choose your next season, have a button that says, I'm going to be in this fellowship, and you pick, and it brings like down a list of fellowships that are signed up for the next season, and you can click whichever one, and the leader chooses where that one is going or something. It would be convoluted though as well. You'd have to wait for the leader of a group to come on and maybe say, right, okay, my fellowship is going to go in Gondor. I pick my fellowship, link it to Gondor, and then I message everybody else, and everybody else then goes onto their sign up sheet, and they click, I want to join with this fellowship. And then once the fellowship leader is selected, he can't change it, so he can't mess everybody up at the last minute and quickly change it. Maybe like you could delete it if you made a mistake or you change your mind. You can delete it. The fellowship leader can delete it and remake it or something, because you can keep going back onto that sign up page and change things anyway. So. But whatever, some way of looking into that sign up, yeah, I agree, would be better. And then mixing. They should mix people between servers now. So if you're on server 0002 and you choose and you want to be in Erebor, you pick your fellowship, you stay with your fellowship. But then the next season, maybe your fellowship is played with different seasons. Servers will be mixed together. That would also be really good, and it would stop the tiresome of being able to always having to fight the same players. It would change because you would be playing different groups each time, which would also make the game a little bit more fun and would stop people being able to pre-make huge, super, mega fellowship alliances in different factions being possible, because you don't know if you're going to be on that same server with people. Yeah, could be good. There are better ways to do the server mix-up rather than just randomly merging more. Just give me 1 second. I'll be back in 1 minute to go through the rest of those Season 3 changes. Yes, nobody comment about my Manchester United t-shirt after that abysmal performance. Let's carry on working our way through that list of other things, and whether you agree. Do you agree with my color coding system on the left hand side? I've color coded whether I think it's a bad change. Red, green change good, and yellow change I don't care or am indifferent about. The structure redevelopment thing I think is going to be curious, but they've not given us enough information about how it's going to work. That's my concern about the structure thing, because from the video they said the structure redevelopment will provide buffs and resources, and it will act like a fort. So that's going to be better. You can send your stuff to the city, and then all of a sudden, you can still move out and have power. Because it's so annoying when you have to build a fort right next to a bloody city, so you can actually have mobility. So I'm glad that they've corrected that. You can just move all your armies around. You have like a base of operations. It is going to be more. It's going to be easier to defend places and more difficult to launch offenses, because all of a sudden everybody from every faction can send all their stuff out across the other side of the board, and they've got some the control around the area. So that's going to be better. Yeah, so far now, if you had one fellowship defending a city in some location, then everybody else just couldn't do much unless they slowly tiled or put an alliance fortress up. That's gone. So that having to mess around with alliance fortresses everywhere is going to be much easier to do. So that will be good. The garrison task and the contribution points and the new structure and items, that confuses me a little bit, because so I'm guessing the city happens, then you can send your armies there, you can perform garrison activities, you can get these points in this ranking system. There's a new store option where you can buy things. So I mean, it'll probably be terrible. It'll probably be like all the rest of the stores where it's just not feasible to do anything, you know. But individually, you will be able to raise it. This is what confuses me a little bit, because that's going to be confusing as hell. If you're going to have a city and you click into it and you open it, you garrison it, you get the points, and you allocate the points into certain things, then is it just going to be personal? So I have that, or is it going to be faction based? As in, I've seen it on other games where you work as a faction and you can have like a research bonus, but it requires like 100 upgrade, and then people can allocate their points or their garrison forces to slowly work towards that 100, and it unlocks for everybody. I'm guessing that's how it will be, because personal individual system is going to be insanely crazy. I'm guessing it will be worked as a faction, because they did say it would be for faction cohesion. So you're going to then need to have people in charge of focusing, looking around all these cities at the beginning, working out which bonuses you need, priority list of them, making sure that all factions know, making sure that everybody clicks the right thing so you unlock them in the right order. It's going to be interesting. It's going to force factions to have more unity and more cooperation. But it's going to be messy, but interesting. So I like it. I gave that a green color on my list because I think it's better than what they did this season, where they just added abilities to the keeps. I feel like the structured development of city is going to make them far more interesting, and it's going to allow for factions to be more insular. Yeah, you're going to be able to focus on your own stuff. Like, oh, we need armies here. We need garrison forts in this city. We need to unlock this ability. We need to get this special unit unlocked for everybody. We need to really come together in this city. And then we need to go to this city. And then maybe we need to grab and take that city and then unlock those things. So you're going to have more groups waiting together, because instead of just sending one fellowship to seize and take something, actually what you might want to do is take it and then garrison it and get the structure points and get certain stuff unlocked. So you're going to need to have way more armies all going together and then heavily work together to fortify and maximize the city, get everything you need on it, and then move on. But then at the same time, once this has been worked on, then you're not going to want to lose it and lose all those bonuses. So there's also going to be far more of a control and protect certain key important cities that you've invested a lot of work into and a lot of effort into. That's going to be a kicker if other factions start to work together and take those down. So they're going to be even more important for you to hold. And I feel like there's going to be a lot more diplomacy and politics in the go about, the cities and trading and holding and things like that. So I do like structured development of cities is going to be good. I'm not sure. I don't know if you guys saw the defensive ruins. Look weird. The new ruins are not going to be like the ruins here, where you can just take them and it unlocks 5 territory. I think maybe somebody said to them, actually, that's a little bit of a crappy bonus. If you're going to be moving areas, okay, you can jump fort and you get a little bit of a bonus. It's a little bit of a bonus. It's a little bit of an extra stuff, but you don't get something massive for it. So the new runes, when you take them, will there'll be like a point that you can hold. I'm trying to find runes, but typical. The one time that I want to... Oh, there we go. There's a rune. Okay. So here's the runes where the bonus that you get for them is you get to control 5 armies into there, and your reach kind of like extends. The new runes are going to, once you seize them, you're going to be able to defend a certain territory automatically. So, and they also say clear the map. defend territories and clear the map. That's a little bit ambiguous. Whether it means that it will auto-attack anything enemies that are nearby, I'm not sure. So ruins are going to be a little bit more interesting. There wasn't enough information to be able to predict exactly how they work. I didn't understand whether it was you station armies there and your armies do that, defend an area, or whether it was AI armies defend the area. You take them and, there's an AI army that defends that territory. I don't know. Not enough came out of it to see, but next season I'll be curious to see. I'm at yellow because I didn't know if it really makes a massive difference onto gameplay. I'm not sure. We will see. If it's AI controlled, are they too powerful? Are they weak? Are they not important? If it's you, then how does that work if other people attack things with fast armies and you can't get in there, or they tile block you? So I'm not sure. I'm not sure how defensive runes will work properly. Sound like an interesting idea, so I made it yellow. We'll see how it works in play. Let me catch up on messages. Persicus, I just think it would better help compared to what they do now. I like Has the Doom Axe more than Hammer for non-dwarf commanders. It gives them more might, although the Hammer probably has better item buff skills. Yeah, I can't remember what I'm doing with either of them at the moment. I think I have one. Let's go through the last couple of bonuses for season bonuses. The last couple of extra things into season 3 that we can expect. Less neutral unit tiles. We talked about this before very briefly. In season 3, you are going to be able to, remember we said about the structure development for the cities, you'll be able to unlock in the structure development for the cities as the faction, unlock the bonus for you to be able to build a neutral unit field barracks. And then once the field barracks is built, everybody in the faction has access to the special unit. So the example is Hobbiton in the video. They get it, they build the field barracks, and then all the faction can produce Hobbit slingers without needing to control a tile. So that's going to be super interesting. We're going to see a lot more special units being built and being used, and tactics being able to advise, because everybody will have a chance to use more stuff. So that's going to be fun. I gave that green because I think that's a really good bonus. I want to see more special units. I want to see them in battle more. Dol Gul'dan has scary, scary abilities. I put this as red because I don't like it. I really don't like Dol Gul'dan. Already they've tried to make it a little bit more powerful. Now it gives you army bonuses and skill. What's the bonus? Plus 5% army stats in effect. So it's all right now, but when you're going to have upgrade points on it, and you're going to have the example they give in the video is territory cap doubled. Jesus, territory cap doubled. It's that's unbelievable. That's scary. And that's one thing. The example they say it gives you your entire ring tree is gonna receive a buff. Your entire ring tree, all the skills get powered up, supercharged. It's gonna make taking Dol Gul'dan so vital, and killing anybody who's on it also important. To make sure that they can't monopolize, because if the big strong factions can take Dol Gul'dan, and then all of a sudden they can take double territories, so they can claim they've got more incentive to take more tiles. Like at the moment, once the big players have taken all those 200 and 300 tiles, then they kind of stop. They focus their armies elsewhere because there's no real point in continuing expansion. Everybody else can take those. But if that one faction at the top, who are already pushing all those other factions, all of a sudden they're incentivized to get double territories, then they're going to hit everybody else's territories. They're going to continue wiping out the resources of everybody else. So that's going to be sad. And they're going to have just unbelievable territory resource gains. So that's going to be scary. So I read that. I don't think I like that. Then they did some Q and answers about Dol Gul'dan has scary abilities which supercharge the ring 2 times the territory cap. Okay, fair enough. Sorry. No night. Wake up. No day or night cycles. It was an interesting question. I don't know how they pick their questions. They always seem to talk about 4 or 5 questions on their video. and I never really see any of those people asking any of the questions. So they came up with these questions about some guy saying, "Is it going to be new bosses?" And they said, "Yeah, there's going to be new bosses." I mean, I don't know why they had to read a whole question about that and then say, "Oh, yeah, we're going to be adding new bosses in the future." I mean, really, they could have just said that. And they're not going to add day and night cycles, but it's something that maybe they're going to look at in the future about having the change and maybe some units fight better. I actually think that's quite a good idea. Whoever came up with that, they cited some bull crap about oh, we can't do that because how do you decide day or night? And I was like, well, we already have a clock in game, so how about we just decide day or night by the in-game clock that everybody else works with anyway? Yeah, they said, oh, but it's different times in Asia and the rest of the world. How would we do it? Would we have it 24 hours or would we have a day cycle being 12 hours? Just have the day cycle just as it is. Or fair enough, yeah, have 12 hour instead. You know, have 6 hours day, 6 hours night, 6 hours day, 6 hours night, and then everybody has the benefit that no matter when you go to sleep, you're still going to have a 12-hour period in which you're going to experience both day and night in game in case you've got special units to do stuff. Actually, that would be quite funky if you had like a lot of evil creatures and abilities that worked better in night, and you had a whole load of good characters and they worked better in the day. Then you would end up with people doing different attacks at different times a bit more. It could be a curious event. Where's this guy going? He's gonna walk into this 410 armies. Let's have a quick peek onto World Chat. I know, but I'm all out. I have to work all day tomorrow. Waffle, it was nice to play with you all in good and bad. I mean, we're going to have 2 or 3 days for cooldown between the seasons. They went the easy way, just like Erebor. They don't deserve it. They went the easy way, just like Erebor. That's not something to do. What is going on here? Angwa. Good going. Okay, cool. This guy's pretty sound. I really like this McWaffle chat. Dude, I always have a chat with him privately about different things and stuff. Even when things went really bad against Rohan early on, we had like a pretty solid chat and just private and had a good time. And when things started going bad for Loth, we had similar chats of just like rubbish, bad things happen sometimes. Let's have a look. Bold choice to read World Chat stream. Yeah, it is. I kept an eye down here because this only gives me like a little bit, so I can tell if there's like a big fight kicking off. You know, this starts to go through really fast, and then I'm usually slightly more aware just from the general streams because more often now, even when I've been making videos, I tend to leave the World Chat just running here, just in case. Right, what I'm going to do, I don't know if anybody wants to comment and say anything about themselves. I'm going to jump into the Discord. Let me get the right server. If you want to join in, you want to say anything, if you've got any criticisms or complaints about the season, or want to talk about the Season 3 planned changes, updates, or anything reminiscent about season... reminiscing about the last season, then you are more than welcome to pop in and say hello. Gosh, you're already in here.
Hello. Lots of stuff happening.
Let me... Okay, you're going to have to tell me on the stream whether you are loud enough. Tikash, say it a little bit, and then somebody else on the stream.
Hello, I'm here.
Okay, is his voice level okay, people?
I'm killing many Balrogs and Dwangs right now.
So I think I got the bonus for this season, for this weekend. I just do one now.
Well, I heard somebody say that if you don't open the mails with the chest that you can open them in the next season to get a good gold bonus.
Yeah, if you keep them in the messages.
No.
Yeah, I heard that, but then in the messages it also says only usable in the current season.
Yes, but you don't have the item yet.
Ah, I see.
So if they don't delete the item from the mail and you still have the mail next season, you probably can just redeem them.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know.
Let me just check on my phone if I can hear you.
The chat has to say if I'm loud enough because I have the stream.
Yeah, I think you're loud enough. Sorry, I checked on my phone. I think you're good. I can hear you on the stream.
Okay.
Similar to mine. Oh, this chat's coming for his from this run in. Okay, so what would you like to start off with? Takosh, this is Takosh is also in the voice chat. You can see it on the stream at the top left. You can see who's chatting on Discord. What I'm going to do is I'll give you the link to the stream. Make sure I get the right channel. Sometimes I give you a link and it brings you straight into the live stream channel. Okay, let me get this. Okay. Is this the right one? I think this is the right one. Okay, this is the link to the MAG Discord server. Feel free if you want to join us in voice chat. It's open to anybody. If you want to just join the Discord in general, you are more than welcome. The Discord, we just have a channel for you can post screenshots, you can post questions. I post about new videos that I've put up, and but also we have the live stream chat. So when I turn it on for the live stream, you can pop into the live stream chat, and it just it also pops on the stream, so where you can raise any of your own concerns, issues, like I said, comments about things I've said today, anything mistakes that I've made, your expectations for season 3, your views on the season 3 information so far, reviewing the season 2, or what you've liked, what you haven't liked, anything like that. Feel free. So Takosh, sorry, I disturbed you. Off you go.
No problem. Well, what do you want to talk about? First about season 2, or do you want to start with season 3? What you know so far?
Let's go with season 2. Out with the old.
Okay. I finished your video a bit like 20 minutes ago, and yes, I agree that getting those evil people in even more factions is probably a bigger problem on the roleplay server. On the mixed servers, we had this season several big factions that went to the opposite alignment. Like Mordor, which I'm playing, is one of the big ones, and the main leaders played Erebor last season.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we won't have that problem this bad on the mixed servers.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with new factions maybe drawing more people over. Because at least Valiak tier 4 unit, he looks pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm. I think that's just it. Mixed servers need just to be merged more. They need more players in a server. So they just need like 2 mixed servers putting together to put the players into each. I really hope on everything that is important in life that the game devs do not merge more roleplay servers together. I really hope that doesn't happen.
The problem I saw with the merge is that in the screen where you have to choose where you want to go for the next season, the mixed or normal option was the default. so every inactive player had that option selected, and probably they merged based on those numbers, but a lot of the mixed numbers were simply inactive people. So I hope it fixes this problem by itself, because if they didn't play at all, they are probably not really on the server because they didn't spawn their capital. I hope. But comparing the roleplay to the mixed on our roleplay server, we were so starving for tiles as Rohan with a full faction. We were expanding so far into the east, and I was still struggling to get more tiles. And on the mixed server, I'm not sure if we even have a single full faction, but it feels so much better.
Which is going to be...
I want the player count that we have in the big factions on the mixed server right now. I want that to be the maximum number, because that felt good, where you have enough people to do stuff, but still have enough tiles around you and nobody steals from you. And who knows how far in this direction we will go, because they announced that we will have lower limits for season 3.
Yeah, fewer resources and more difficult to get.
Yeah, well, the factions will also have a lower player limit. But we have no idea how much lower.
Which would definitely suggest that they're not going to do another server merge. Because you probably can't merge two together. There would not be enough places.
I guess if they are merging roleplay servers, then at most 2 servers, if at all. And pretty sure there will be merges for mixed servers.
I think between I was going to say between in the cutoff time period, I was going to maybe do my weapon merges, but I think I'll save it until the new box in the beginning of the next season. So
I won't do much with that. I will just wait and see what happens.
Yeah, like I said, I want to merge. I've got lots of gear sets. It's just medium, and I kind of want to just power that up into three gear sets. And maximize those 3.
I wish I had enough gear sets, but I'm trying to not do that much with them yet, because who knows, we might get an event that needs us to put them together.
Yeah, true. I will not do too much with the gold, but the purples, I'm definitely going to compress them into useful pieces.
Yeah.
Just of 3 sets maxed. We'll see. So, what about the next season? What do you think? What's the good and bad of next season's announcement so far?
I have a lot to say about the next season. So I would say we start with the theme for the next season. And I forgot the name. What's the name of this theme?
Oh, I can't remember. I skipped past that so quickly. I think I watched it in like 1.5 times just to get the useful stuff.
Okay, theme is Rebuilding Glory, with that you can more or less upgrade the keeps and other big structures. I like it, basically. Right now, it's more... the gameplay we have right now is more in our fellowship or warband. We are going towards some goal. That goal is probably dictated by your faction leaders, but in the end you are just moving as your fellowship or warband. And I like that we get something where we have to work together on the faction level. From what I can tell, it's that you just earn the points for a keep, and that levels the keep up, and it has it unlocks stuff at specific levels.
The table, the screen looks pretty weird. It seemed to have like a cross with loads of like levels. I didn't know if maybe you put point, because it seemed to be you had to do contribution points from doing garrison tasks. So it seemed to be very not clear about whether you just did generic tasks and it just slowly leveled up the keep, or whether it seemed to be more like there was some sort of selection process about upgrading certain things rather than it just happening naturally.
Are you talking about the one where on the left you have develop, in the middle battle,
Yep.
and on the right aptitude?
Yep.
I think that's a list of all buffs you can have.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are some that are locked. Let's see, where was the other one? When they go to this next one, when they go to Evil Dwarf Keep, wherever that is, they showed that for the defensive camp, you unlock it on level 1, the level 1 camp, when you get to development level 4. And the next upgrade to the defensive camp is at development level 7, and another one at level 13.
Okay, I see.
So it seems like the structure bonuses are all locked in from the start.
Mm-hmm.
And you, just by leveling up the keep, you unlock them.
Okay.
So it depends what we have to do to level them up, but it seems that we have to garrison a commander, which is also not bad, because at this point we have too many commanders, so we have some use for those we don't use at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. It would be handy if we can just leave them garrisoned with just a small force. And it depends what these activities are, what you have to do with these garrison tasks. If they're like killing armies, then it's less useful, because you're going to need a strong army there to be able to kill the maximum stuff for the maximum points.
Yeah, I don't know. We have to see about that one. But in general, I like the system. Because it gives you something to do as a faction and not just as your small group of players.
It gives stuff for a different type of player as well, because not everybody is just I want to be out on the front lines doing PvP actions. There are a fair few farmers in this game, and so far most people are critical of farmers. You probably see them on the scoreboards when you look at the rankings page, and you see some people that are just so much further than everybody else on personal production that you imagine, okay, this guy's just got all of the level 300 tiles in a huge, massive area, and that's all they care about. Everybody else is doing the fighting. As soon as they get into an area, they just care about making sure. And I see some of these people from the Rohan names. There was a chap, Anduin. I knew him from season 1. And even when Rohan were like losing all sorts of territories and were being beaten to the ground, he still was in like the top 50 table of it, just because he fought desperately for his like 200 plus tiles. It looks like he's either name changed or disappeared. But now it gives a chance for those type of players that aren't really super interested in all this action, or maybe they don't want to wake up at some crazy clock. Like for me, sometimes last season I was waking up at 4 a.m. or so for some of the attack plans, and it got pretty tiring. So for people like that who maybe aren't in a good time for the rest of their factions for attacks, maybe they're not too interested in, or they don't really want to keep coming against super whales that can just murder through 10 of their armies with one enemies. So it gives them a chance to focus on the cities that needed upgrading and really helping out the faction just by making sure that everything's deployed and constantly running the garrison tasks.
Yeah. It gives a lot to do for the smaller players that are not all the time at the front fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And for Dol Guldur, I also heard that Dol Guldur should double your territory limit, but I can't see it in the video, and I'm not sure if that's even true.
They say it. They say it in the video.
Yes, but when they showed the wing tree, you see for dominance that at development level 30, which is the highest one for Dol Guldur, your territory limit increases by 30. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe the double part is incorrect. And other stuff we get is...
Or they didn't have it upgraded. I don't know. Maybe there's other buttons and things to click.
Maybe, and you get 5% army speed, march speed, army attack plus 3%, which is less than what we have right now. Right now we have 5. Commander physical damage plus 5%, so they don't seem that much stronger, and those ones don't level up. They only have this one level for the buff you get.
I'm sure there must be on the whole tree when you look at it. I don't know if maybe it's inaccurate. Maybe they haven't balanced it. Maybe they haven't.
At that point, they clicked through the bonus on the keep itself.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, it would show if there's an upgrade at a higher development level.
Plus, maybe there's structural development for DG, and maybe there's structural development bonuses which affect the ring.
Those are the bonuses I just read, like the 3% march speed or whatever it was. 2% attack, 5% march speed. The march speed is at development level 7. At 10, you get 3% army attack. At 14, you have 5% physical commander damage.
Mm-hmm.
So,
that's different.
Doesn't seem too bad compared to what we have right now.
5% commander physical damage is pretty potent.
Yeah, but some of the army stuff probably doesn't even exist anymore, and some others for the army are weaker than before, so might be fine.
Mm-hmm. Looks like everybody's killing these.
Let's see what else. Having the video on right now and just...
let me pop my that's my cheat sheet for season 3 that I put up on the stream. They're the list of the changes that I managed to grab that I thought were important.
Okay, then let's start at the top. I already said that probably for the mixed servers, new EVE factions are fine because people are changing their alignment. On roleplay servers, well, you wanted roleplay, live with this. I don't know how they want to fix it for roleplay, but roleplay isn't really the focus because they wanted to have the game as a mix with mixed servers.
Yeah, that might be the
plan for it.
That might be the case, but from what I can gather, there are a lot more roleplay players. So it's a question where if they're only going to be, if they're stubborn enough not to focus on what the players actually want, then they're going to create a disconnect between the player base and the developers.
Yeah, I can't tell. We have to see how they deal with it in the future.
Okay.
What I like about the factions, the Variax, the tier 4 units, it seems to be good against like every neutral tier 4 unit and every tier 4 faction unit except for the Iron Warriors.
Let me put that up. Wait, give me a second. The Variax, okay, so I put them on screen. So, Karen.
Yeah, because they debuff the damage of the highest tier unit, which is usually tier 4, so neutral unit or faction unit. And except for the Iron Warriors, who as tanks don't care that much about the damage output, it's good against anything. And especially against the Elven ones, because, well, they are ranged units, and as ranged units, they are not that defensive. So having a melee unit that just attacks the tier 4 that's in the back, it sounds pretty good.
But I mean, for me, you look around the units sorry, hello, Jamil. Welcome to the stream. For me, like, I was looking at it and thinking, If I'm playing Erebor next season, what am I afraid of? Am I afraid of those champions? Not really. I don't think the damage is particularly great.
Erebor is basically the only faction that doesn't have to fear the champions, because the champions are against everyone except Erebor.
I'm also not a huge fan of those damage figures. I get the fact that most of the part that's tricky about them is that they're huge damage reduction for the next hit. My concern is that they don't pack a punch for a cavalry unit. Okay, they've got some fast speed on. Sorry, there's two problems with them in my opinion. Number one, they don't pack a significant punch for me for a cavalry unit. So you've only got like half as many of, say, what's a March Warden's obscene amount of damage? Is it like, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Is a March Warden like 58 to 60 or something damage? I know that's like a high benchmark, but you're trying to get people to take these units. Okay, they've got their debuff for the next hit, but that's still a weak damage output. My second problem is the fact that they would be good if you had a cavalry option build. So, like, say for good factions, you've got marshals, you've got swan, you've got these cavalry units, and they're good because you have so many other good cavalry unit available options that you can make a pick and mix. I have it the same at the problem now. I've got marshals, and then where do I go with my marshals? Do I want to go with cavaliers and bow knights and have a super attack? Do I want to go with ram riders in there for the debuff, which is useful, a handful of them, cataphracts to make a tanky option? Do I want to go, if I can get access to Bree Knights on the map? There's so many good cavalry option units that you can make varied, useful cavalry builds. For evil factions, I don't know. I don't rave about a lot of them.
My guess is that you use them as an evil army, evil man army.
Mm-hmm.
As a commander that buffs evil man. That's my guess. Or you use them together with some tanky units and a DPS character like Lourdes, so your army doesn't take as much damage while your commander just defeats the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
As a damage mitigation unit.
Yeah, I don't know, man. We'll see him next season if people go. I just don't think Varieg's going to be populated at all. There's a couple of things that are going wrong for them.
Variax will be more populated than Gundabad.
Really? What are they looking at? Saying that, do you know what the faction bonuses are? I couldn't find them. I didn't really look properly.
No, they didn't say at all.
I mean, this is ridiculous. So there's like 4 days before the start of the season, and they decided to continue to be secretive about it. I mean, it's, I don't know. There are things that make me rage. No, but that's super important. Like, seriously, there's only 4 days left to go. Like, they don't tell us anything about when the server's going to merge. I understand that maybe because it makes things a bit more mysterious. But seriously, people are going to have to sign up for these armies. So they
can't tell us which servers merge because the registration is still 2 more days. So you cannot.
Sorry, whether there will be mergers. Sorry, that's what I meant to say.
There will be mergers.
I don't think roleplay servers will have mergers.
It depends. If 80% of your roleplay player base says we go to mixed servers, then there will be a merge.
Do you think that's going to happen? So far, I've heard more of my mixed players who've switched are planning to switch back. I've not heard of any players deciding to go to mixed, but I've heard a lot of people coming back from mixed.
I heard of some players that go to mixed. Not many, but some.
Mm-hmm.
But I also, on my mixed server, I have some people who go roleplay. So
yeah, I've got some friends who were within season 1. They said we might be coming back. We'll see if we get back and link in with whether the servers are still linked together and that they'll come back. We'll see.
Which also means that there probably will be mergers, because if a few players from a mixed server want to go to roleplay, they have to get merged into another server.
But I mean, that would be a handful of players just switching back to where they were going. Jamil says it will be. I heard 90% will be merged. 90% of servers will be merged, even roleplay servers. I suppose actually now we're getting to the end of the season. There's There has been a drop off, but towards the beginning of the season, it was horrific. And my concern is two of those really busy servers is just going to be killer, especially because they've said there's going to be smaller. Season 3 is going to be a smaller spawn point size with fewer resources, and it's going to be more difficult. So putting two servers together, already we were struggling with tiles on this server.
My guess is for the roleplay servers, they will probably merge a roleplay server and the people from a mixed server that want to go roleplay.
Yeah, but I mean, that's going to be handfuls. It's going to be, negligible amounts.
Yeah.
Imagine that's fairly easy to switch.
It's in the end, it's still a merge.
Well, I mean, more of a transfer for me. But okay. But yeah, for me, I see where you're coming from. I think Variag, yes, okay, maybe. Yes, so if you come against March Wardens, maybe, or something like Marshals, okay. I still worry that the damage is a little bit too low for my liking, and I don't like that iron cost. And I worry that their lack of support, you're going to end up having to be using them, out of cavalry option. And for me, that kind of negates half of the bonus of being cavalry. You're paying for it.
I looked at the cost and compared them to the Fallen from Angmar. And the iron cost is a bit higher, but the ore and wood cost is a good chunk lower.
Mm-hmm. Let's have a look at what it
compares out more or less. Like wood costs 1k more for the Fallen.
What was I checking? Oh yeah, the cost for a marshal is 6.7k wood, 7.2k iron, 11k food. I didn't mean like the I think the cost for all of them is relatively similar. What my concern is it being so heavily in something that you tend not to have, stockpiles of. Like for me, when I'm growing, I'll tend to get a whole load of wood. I'll tend to get a whole load of food because I know I'm going to need those for the whole season. Like food for marshals is perfect because I'm always got a load of food. I know it's also the same one to be of the apothecary, which is a problem. So I compensate for that by having huge productions of food. But having to have production of iron when I don't necessarily need it everywhere else is going to be a bit of a pain. I'm guessing Iron Warriors are going to be similar. Grab the iron mines. But for me personally, I think these warlords look scary.
I like them. I want to play as them on Season 3 Mixed. I probably won't because our vote went to Angmar. They look nice. They are really good damage dealers. The reason why I think that fewer people will go to Gundabad is the defense. The defense of 10 is really low.
It is, and they're a melee unit as well.
Yep. So they will take huge losses unless you are somehow able to mitigate this low defense number.
Yeah, I'm guessing the idea is that you take things like the trolls to try and just deflect and take all the damage early on, and then just for that huge early round pummeling of the opponents. Just focus everything on your damage and attacks in the first 3 or 4 turns. Take everything damage that you can on the trolls, and just in that time, just obliterate people with sheer firepower. Because that shove is going to double their firepower pretty much, which is pretty obscene because they're 50 to 60 on a base level anyway. So say 55 on average, and all of a sudden they're doing double. So they're going to do 110 damage. 110 damage. That's near enough double.
You ignore half the defense.
Ignoring 50% of the debuff, they're doing 110 damage when a March Warden is doing 59 to 60. So pretty much let's call that 60. So they're doing 110. They're doing 50 damage more than a March Warden. They're near enough doubling.
You have to somehow. The defense is a drawback. Madness can hit you really hard.
If they can hit them.
Yeah, you can probably think of them as physical alchemists, maybe a bit weaker.
But with some commanders, they're going to be grim as hell.
Oh yeah.
The right commanders buffing damage, especially early on, it's going to be insane when you get massive percentage bonuses.
Just look at Gorbek and Gosmog. Those are the go-to commanders for the Warlords. Especially Gosmog, because I'm not sure about his best build, but he is able to mitigate the defense because he has can give your units a defense buff of 35.
Yeah, once you get to 40, they'll be all right. If you get a defense that's 40. I think he's going to be... Also, to be honest, there's a whole load now of commanders and units that are starting to ignore defense or ignore 50% or reduce defense. So actually, in a way, also, you've also got a unit that doesn't care about defense. You know, you can go, fair enough, I've got a low defense. I'm going to try and work it so that my tanks take the damage in the first 3 turns. I'm going to do huge amounts of damage early on to deplete them so they're not doing a whole lot of damage to me back. And you know what? Whatever, I'll take the defense problem to begin with because whatever. You know, their Ram Riders now are useless against me. Their Variags are useless. You know, the champions.
My guess is that they might are doing this to counteract people that use a DPS commander and just tanks as units, so they live long enough to deal all the commander damage. That might be one of the reasons why they add so much defense reduction or ignoring defense. And maybe to give people more options to deal with Muma kills.
I don't think they're that great against Muma kills. Because the shove ability, the thing that doubles their damage, you need to be going against balanced armies. You need to be fighting against armies that have both melee and range in them. So pretty much any of those armies that dependent upon range builds, DPS builds.
In the first place, they are Erebor counters against the Iron Warriors.
I mean,
the defense reduction is really good against them, and the shove with Iron Warriors, you probably the other 2 unit types are in the back.
Possibly, I'm planning to run. I'm planning to run Iron Warriors and Guardians next season. Just those 2 with Galadriel. Just like, yeah, kill me, bro.
I don't want to fight Galadriel.
And probably the same with Thorin. I might go with Thorin DPS build and go with the same thing. I'm just going to go Guardians and Iron Warriors all day long. Like, okay, deal with it. And then I'll probably unlock. I'll probably get my Legolas up and maybe even Gimli up, and I'll just take huge amounts of obscene damage dealing stuff with just Uber tanks and just do no damage on my troops.
No, I don't have that on my roleplay server. Because I joined really late in season 1, so I don't have the commanders for that.
Well, I mean, you might not be too bad if there's another... Did you get the season pass this time? I'm hoping the season pass is good like last season. You didn't get it for season 2?
No, I'm still completely free to play.
Okay.
On both servers.
Oh, I thought the season pass was solid.
No, I didn't. I'm still waiting for my $50 win that I got for one of the Christmas events on Discord.
They've not paid you that yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
No. They have my PayPal details for over 3 weeks.
I think they did. They said something to the devs. They were having problems, and with it being Chinese New Year, so they all had like the last week and a half, 2 weeks or so. That doesn't surprise me too much. We're still waiting for the Phyllis Pioneers payment as well. So, but that probably will be perfect timing if it comes like beginning of the next season, because it's your season pass paid for, and some other bits and pieces. Jamil's season pass is really good, worth buying. I started a season 1 account and realized how terrible this season 1 was compared to the season 2 season pass. So hopefully the season 3 one's even better. Okay, I'll get rid of this Warlord screen. We'll go back to the Season 3 changes one.
Yep. Let's see. Spawn point reduction. I have really specific guesswork for that. Let's see if I can find the... Are you able to get the video on stream?
Yes.
Oh, wait, I might be able to give you a screenshot instead. I can give you a screenshot.
Giving me a screenshot. I can't see a screenshot. Where are you sending it?
It's in the screenshot channel.
Oh, I see it.
Discord.
Okay, give me 1 second, guys. I'll just get this. Desktop.
So right now we start in season 1 and season 2. We always started with 3 regions, and they're saying that we start with less regions. So we are having at most 2 starting regions this time. But when we look at this weird map, this map in the first place is more or less made up. They used commands to change the factions that own different keeps, obviously, because this wouldn't happen in a normal game. But what's interesting for me is I don't think that they unclaimed keeps, which would mean when you look at the Variax faction or Rune, there is no claimed area next to them, which makes it likely that we might just start with our capital region. Because I'm pretty sure they just use the season 3 map for this, and with commands just gain control of some territories to make the map look more lived in. But there are some factions that just don't have claimed regions next to them, which raises the question, do we only start with 1 region?
Yeah, quite possibly. I mean, this at the moment of the season, you have was about 4 or 5 where you can spawn. So they said they're reducing the spawn ones. So I mean,
yeah, the guess is that the spawn is reduced to the 3 regions we started with before.
Jamil says they're not expanding that. They've not said they are. They've just said, what is it? They said spawn point reduced size, fewer resources, makes it a bit more difficult to expand, and the faction size is going to be slightly smaller. So, but Jamil agrees that he reckons also it will be 1 region only each. So yeah, maybe that will be it. 1 region and 3 spawns. But I suppose if they're reducing tiles, they're reducing resources in areas. I suppose the benefit of that is there's going to be more areas for keeps.
No, the other point is, if we really only start with 1 region and our players spawn in 3, that means we go down to 60% of our spawn area, which also might relate to the maximum number of people we have.
And potentially 2/3 of the faction begin with going to be having the debuff for not being in a territory they control. The siege debuff.
No, the siege debuff is only if you are in a territory.
Oh yeah, that's controlled by the enemy. Yeah, sorry,
my bad. Neutral.
My bad. Yeah, you're right.
That would be awful.
Okay, we go with that map.
But it's Another thing on the map.
Put the map back up.
If you want to open it again, because if it is true that we only start with one region, there is no LotR on the east of the Misty Mountains. They don't have the 2 spawn points on opposite sides.
But it would potentially no, because that would mean they would. It would mean that they only control their capital city, but then they would spawn on the left side and up in the top right again, right? If they continue their spawns.
I'm not sure if they. Okay, maybe you don't spawn in all the same regions, because if they would spawn in the top right, they wouldn't be able to claim that for a really long time.
Yeah, I still think they'll. I think they'll still put them over the mountains. I think they'll still put them, maybe those 2 on the map that they've got now. Maybe those 2, and then 1 next to it would be their 3 spawns.
Maybe, but it's pretty interesting because Gundabad now suddenly has a clear way to the wing. If LotR would be also on the other side, what's the name, Elven King Halls in the Woodland realm, then they would have to fight through the elves, but this way they don't have to.
Presume the elves that don't intend to expand that way anyway. So let me catch up. Artisco, is Linden tier 4 okay? How to use them better, considering Linden as option for season 3? I very rarely hear people say positive things about the Linden tier 4.
I don't even know what Linden tier 4 is right now.
I'm trying to remember now. Yeah, I was going to say, I've played first season with Loth, and we didn't have Linden on the server. And then this round, we've been allied to Linden. They've been the other side of the map, and we've never fought, never really competed. So I've never really seen it. All I know is that I know a lot of people who play Linden, and they're not huge fans of the unit. I'm trying to remember now. Arnor are the really cool tile holding units, aren't they? They get they protect other range units, and they get bonuses for protecting non-structured lands. I'm trying to remember what the Linden one is. You'll have to tell us what's the Linden one. I have to admit my mind's gone blank. Give me a second, actually. Sorry, Kosh, you carry on. I'm going to grab the picture. Oh, the long shot. That's it. I'm going to grab the picture. You carry on.
I can't even find the Linden ones in the in-game wiki.
We've got a special Pioneers folder, but I wait. I can just access that folder. I don't need to download it. Google Drive. Sorry, you carry on. Do you want me to get rid of this picture?
Yeah, I don't think we need it anymore because it's a lot of guesswork.
Yeah, okay. I've gone back to the season 3 changes picture.
Yeah. Okay. We already talked about the structure development. So defensive wounds, they could be good if once you take a capital from another keep from another faction, you get the development high enough, you would have an easy way to clear all the enemy tiles. And if you are on the defensive side, they can't just rush you because the defensive wounds will probably slow a sudden attack down by a little bit. So they can't just rush, take the keep, and your faction didn't even notice. That's my take on them. We will have to see how strong they really are. But if they clear tiles, that's fine for me. Because clearing tiles after you take a region is so awful.
Yeah, maybe that's something they do. Well, that would be quite cool.
And nobody wants to do it.
Okay, faction units. Sorry, I found the folder. I should download this folder and save it. Good factions. Linden. This folder is empty. Oh, great. That's the one. It's the one that's everybody else is here. Arnold here. Lothlorian's got loads in the folder. Erebor, loads. Just Linden's the only one. This folder is empty. Okay.
Well, don't go to Linden. They don't have that default unit. Go into the folder.
Okay. Yeah. The Fearless Pioneers folder has nothing for Linden. It's just an empty folder. Maybe I should post something. Everything else is in here. Special Pile, the Evil are all in here. Good. Interesting. Well, I can't get the picture. Oh, they have items in here as well.
Oh, interesting.
Common, rare, superior, legendary, fine. Okay.
Do you have any additional takes on the defensive ruins?
I'm looking forward to defensive ruins. I think the defensive ruins will be funky. Like I said, I put it as yellow because I'm not entirely sure which way, how they'll work exactly. Whether you have to station your army there, whether it moves around, how it works with cavalry, how it works with tile blocking. So there's mechanics that I'm not entirely sure how they're going to work in play compared to what they've said. They've said it's quite vague. They've just said, what did they say? Defensive ruins, defend and clear the map. So there's just not a whole lot of information about that. Sorry, 1 second. Let me just. Sorry, go on.
My guess about them is that you take them like a normal ruin, but you maybe are not even able to garrison your troops there, but they will generate AI armies, and they probably have the normal win radius, and in this radius they probably will either attack tiles or defend tiles of your faction if an enemy is attacking.
That's quite possible now you think about it, because I'm thinking about the video, and I watched the video, and they seem to hit the tile for the runes, and then it changes color, and then he comes back. He doesn't go and defend it. So yeah, you could be right.
Yeah. The color is for your faction, so it's a faction control tile.
So let me just follow up on Artists Go. Nolder Longshot, no normal damage. Oh yeah, I remember. They don't do a normal damage. They attack instead all enemy troops on round 1, 4, 7, and 10. And you've really got to hope that you're not stunned in any of those turns.
And I believe commanders usually don't buff your units in those rounds. Usually commanders,
oh yeah, I suppose,
like in 2 or 3, the first big buff.
Yeah, because he said they don't do normal damage. If they don't do normal damage, then they won't get buffed by all the normal damage buffing stuff, I'm guessing. So yeah, I think that's too much of a gamble.
Yeah.
You need to be consistently doing damage in the first 3 or 4 rounds to be able to win battles, and only hitting in round 1 and just hoping to God that you've not you don't get stunned out of something. That would be devastating. I would like to see something like that. What happens if they get suffered madness? You suffer madness, so if you get affected, you just hit all the units on your side. That'd be pretty devastating. You only get 1 shot in the first 3 turns, and you shoot it and hit all of your own troops.
I mean, I have seen, I don't know for which server that was, where I think it was Legolas who got hit by madness, and he has this ability where the dwarves guard your elven units.
Oh, right? yeah, dwarf friend.
And that dwarf friend, because he was mad, or the unit was mad, whatever the dwarven unit defended the enemy units for the whole battle.
Ouch.
That was such a funny report.
Well, let me show you. This is I've got 2. Well, again, it's gold, so it's in the long distant future. But I can't decide between these helms for my for the future for my Galadriel, maybe, because I was looking, thinking she's probably going to come against a lot of Galadriels early on. So I've got like this the Hunter's Guide helm here on screen. So it does might, focus, attack range, and then the first 4 rounds, all allies chance to gain stun and madness immunity. So when maxed, I think that's 90%. Oh no, 100%. Sorry, yeah, 100% for the first 4 rounds. You cannot be affected by stun and madness, which are the turns that count when you're doing the most amount of damage. So I think that one's pretty cool. But then I also quite like the cask one, Cask of the Submerged Island. Might, focus, and speed. Your allied commander each round, when maxed, is 90% madness immunity.
I saw, I think, in a video by All Things Middle Earth that the commander anti-madness helmets are not that good. Because there are like only 3 or 4 abilities among all commanders that even deal madness to commanders.
I also noticed this one as well has, I mean, maybe not the madness immunity one, but towards the bottom, also has the 100% chance to gain stun and madness immunity for the first 4 rounds. Also has a first 3 rounds, enemy commander 50% chance to inflict silence each round. That's also pretty potent.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
I mean, I love that just because, you know, all skills. So, okay, less useful against maybe something like Gimli, who doesn't really use it, doesn't have skills that much anymore in the first 3 rounds anyway. Most of his damage is from...
Aren't the attacks you have in the skill tree, aren't those skills?
They're all like they've got a 3-round cooldown. Don't they? Only hit in round 4, right?
Oh, okay.
All in, and the other ones they've got a cooldown which will avoid that. I'm trying to remember. I think most of his stuff just increases his damage, right? Let's have a look. Durin's Blood, skill damage, Whirlwind. Oh yeah, Whirlwind it stops. All in it won't.
The description for silence says that they cannot activate skills. Does that mean they can still use the titles?
Still use what? Sorry?
The titles, the big ones. You use skills with titles with 15 points, and then you have 2 skills.
It depends if it's a skill attack or not.
Well, what confuses me is that the small ones that are attached to the titles are all called skill, and the big ones are called title. So does silence only stop the small ones?
Oh yeah, I suppose. I guess what you mean. I see what you mean. Yeah, I suppose it does. Yeah, I always thought the skills were just the damage. I suppose you're right. It probably stops all those skills. Yeah, so it probably does stop all the bonus for the damage increases. You're right. Yeah, so that sounds is pretty handy. Yeah. But 50% chance for the first 3 turns. So sometimes you have a really good day, and sometimes you have a really bad day. But it's going to mess up some other commanders just with that one helmet. If it pulls it off like the first 2 turns, then that silence is going to be devastating for all sorts of builds, because either that's their army's buffs kicking in, or their heals, or stuns, or everything's going to go.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Catch up on the messages here. If they attack. If attack damage was stacking, they would do insane damage, but they don't stack damage each round. That's AI like Angmar in Season 1, I think. Would be nice to balance strength between tier 4s based on how often which faction is used and how well they do against other tier 4s, and some are OP, some not good tier 4s. Definitely needs to be some balance. Like I said before about commanders and a lot of the things, it's almost like the devs do not have somebody properly looking at balance, and the changes that they make every so often are insignificant. Sometimes I'm just like, okay, cool, what about everything? Like they changed what's he called, the dead guy, King of the Dead. change King of the Dead this season. Why not? Why are you doing one? Just do loads. Wait till the end of the season and just the 10 worst commanders or the 10 best, work out some sort of balancing and balance all the units and stuff so they all make sense. Only Grima can do madness on her, not so common. Okay, out of all good side commanders, only counters to Galadriel is Gimli, Open Wound, and KOD with Oathbreakers. Somebody else has Open Wound now, right? It's not just Gimli with Open Wound. Doesn't Dwalin have Open Wound as well? Right? Maybe he doesn't. Am I thinking of somebody else? I thought somebody else had Open Wound. Is it Balin? I'm trying to remember now. Who also has Open Wound? Now you've got me a little bit. You've got me a little bit. Is it Dane, maybe? Oh, somebody said Dane. Yeah, I'm sure I saw it somewhere else. Yeah, I think Dane makes sense. I don't have Dane. Have a quick peek.
Yeah, Dane has it as skill on the top respect 0 skill title.
Okay.
On Ironfoot, there's Open Wound.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, I knew I'd seen it somewhere else. I just couldn't remember. Yeah, okay. Oh, and Balin as well. You said Balin as well. Dun, dun, dun. Somewhere at the end, though, right? Open Wound, yeah, okay. Balin has it on tier 1 as well. Respect 0. Okay, so Balin, Gimli, Dane. Okay, so quite a few of the dwarves have that Open Wound.
And a good chunk of the evil ones.
Yeah.
It's called differently, but a good chunk of evil ones have healing prevention.
Mm-hmm. And King of the Dead with the stop heals.
Yeah, I believe the evil side has like 2 or 3 that stop heals altogether. But I believe at least one of them is still cleansable.
You know what? So somebody is posting about King of the Dead. I've not actually looked at him since the change, so I didn't really see properly what they did to him. Folks, so most of it looks the same. So focus damage and minimum damage for 4 rounds, focus damage and debuff, normal attacks dealing focus damage, units, all allied units damage buff, and enemy and allied units cannot be healed. Okay, so that's changed. I don't remember that being there, that enemies and allied units being tier 0. Then confusion and intimidation are both there. I do like those two with the silence and the stuns. Men of the Mountains, King of the Dead, bonus focus up to 15%, and allied enemy units deal minimum damage. It's pretty tasty. Focus damage once, modified and inflicts madness. I remember him being pretty grim. Yeah. One allied undead recovers hit point twice. Okay, if that's the Oathbreakers and gains stun immunity. And inflicts stun each round for the first 4 rounds. He's got such good tables that are built for different things, but they really work well together because being able to like stun and silence the enemy commander works with any other build, as well as like dealing damage works with any other build. You can synergize with anything, and heals, really solid heals. They just synergize well. It makes it really difficult to build a really good build because every skill in there is kind of like, okay, I could go with that thread and then I need all the focus skills. I could go with this thread and I need all of the the messy mind gamey type build, or I could go this way and I need all the sort of like undead bonusy stuff. And Madness Crane is such nice. I do like him. He'd be one of my favorite if I could get. He'd probably be my next one to get if I could choose my tier 3.
Well, for the healing, you need an undead.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be much easier in season 3 with the what's it called? Field barracks to get all of the units.
Yeah, but we still don't know if we can get the enemy ones. I'm not sure about that one. For the neutral units, or are you talking about just about Oathbreakers?
Yeah, just about Oathbreakers. Oh, sorry. So let me have a quick peek here. Balin and Gimli. Yeah, Dane, Balin, and Gimli all have the open wound, counter heal, and King of the Dead. So I mean, still not a whole load. It's still quite specific for those really good counters to Galadriel. Season 3 is going to be interesting because she's so overpowered. There's going to be so many people with her. I don't think a whole lot of people are going to start with King of the Dead, even if they got him unlocked. I don't think he's a good commander to be starting with for tiling. And so then it relies on and again, I don't think Gimli, I don't really think he's a really good tiler either. Dane and Balin are okay just because they've got those decent sort of like tanky. Balin probably the best of them all just because you've got a decent heal so you can make sure you're not taking too much losses. And that's key early on in your development for grabbing tiles and growing. If you're constantly repairing the units, you've got a problem. Open wood can be minimized with 3 units armies on Gala instead of 1. Hi, Abel Samore and Zen. Welcome to the stream. Hope you guys have a good weekend. Ready for season 3 if you're on the final countdown for your servers. We are on to our near enough onto the last day. 1 day, 2 hours left to go. We're just discussing and going through the season 3 changes. I can't remember where we're up to. I've got Tikosh here in the voice chat with me. You can see that at the top left of the stream. Which one of us is talking, in case you couldn't already tell. If you are also interested in joining us in the voice chat to tell us about your experiences for season 2. Was it good? Are you happy it's over? Do you wish you could go back and do another 4-month season? Or if you want to pop on season 3, tell us about your opinions, how season 3 has gone for you. How you're looking forward to season 3, what you want changed, what you think about the changes, blah, 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 blah. Pop in Discord. You can post there, screenshots, or you can jump into the voice chat and it will echo through into the stream. As I said, I'm going with Tikosh some of the changes into season 3. And we were down to which ones? Less neutral units, but you can build field barracks for the faction share, which we skimmed on before.
I don't know how they will change that. Will there just be fewer neutral unit camps, or will they just remove them altogether?
They've said fewer.
Okay.
Which again also links in with that having more area and more tiles in which people can spawn in. I think they've tried to restrict the amount of wasted space.
Because I could also see if they just remove the tiles and just have it linked to the keep in that area.
I guess that's probably too heavy-handed in that one faction gets it, one faction, all of them has it, nobody else has it. Whereas at the moment you can get those fights over the different areas and you can share and some people can get some. I suppose this means that people aren't going to be too much fighting on it. One person can say, well, we've got this, the city will use that and we've got all our players with the tiles, so you can take the other tiles, that's fine, to allies or friends and stuff.
Yeah.
You pretty much become real guardians of those then, because if you control the keep, you control that area, you control the field barracks and the unit barracks for all of your troops. It becomes a real big trading policy for allowing other groups and other people to get it.
Yeah, I just wouldn't be surprised if they want to prevent people making deals for neutral unit camps.
It'd be interesting to see if they move some of the units into different territories as well, because like Hobbiton there's some territories that have like 2 special unit tiles in them. So.
Oh yeah, there's so many between Hobbiton and Bree. Like they have 3, 4 unit types. But we also have to see where they put the new ones they will add with Season 3. Okay, well, we can't really talk much about that because we don't know how they will implement it. We already talked about the Dol Guldur stuff and about the day-night cycles. I agree with you. It's fine with me that we don't have them yet, but why not have them later? And on a shorter cycle, like 6 or 8 hours for a day, would be my suggestion. So even if you have a smaller window where you can play the game, you still get to see both sides of it.
I think it's definitely a change that I would like to see, but I never really thought about. But I thought it does give them options. The question is do they monopolize? Do they make the most of it? And sometimes I feel like there's elements and aspects of the game that they don't really make the most of. And day and night cycles will be really, really amazing to be able to have, way more a bigger spin on the units and having good units and going back and addressing some of the existing units and maybe making them more useful by making them have a bonus in the day, or some overpowered units giving them a weakness during the opposite one. And I feel like it's like a minor tweak, but it could really balance some of those units or make some other units much more valuable. And people would then have to be deploying and building their barracks with the idea of, okay, these champions or these units, I'm going to be marching them in the daytime, or these in the night, or I'm going to be pretty much using everything in the day, and then I'll go to sleep during the night. I feel like you just get more an interesting gameplay if you really exploit it. If they just add it and it's nothing more than the screen looks a little bit darker at night and it's a little bit lighter during the day, and they release one new commander with the use of it, then I feel like it'll be a wasted opportunity.
Yeah, I agree, but if they add buffs and debuffs, then they have to make short cycles.
Yes.
Otherwise, you might be just
6 hours
playing. It's a bad time.
6 hours, 6 day, six night, 6 day, 6 night. And most people go to sleep and then they're playing for whatever 6 or 12 hours. The opposite. So they'll catch a day and a night cycle in a 12-hour period. But it does mean then that maybe it'd be more interesting in that when you talk about alliance attacks and when your faction goes for keeps and cities, you have to keep different teams in with different groups and different. I feel like there's more option for tactical play. It becomes more intriguing.
They could also make them at an odd time, so like let's say 5 hours, which would lead to if you play every day in the same time slot, then you have a change.
That'd be difficult to do. You'd then need an in-game clock, and it would be really different from the UTC. Whereas if you had it on a 6 hour, it's 12. It'd be much easier.
They could just display how long your current the day still lasts, when the next night begins, etc. But that's something for the future. If we even get it at all.
Let's have a look through some of these reports. Right, okay, let me take that screenshot off. I think it's going to be interesting. Like I said, there's some things in there that I'm not too happy about. And then again, I will be posting a video. I've got quite a few ready. It's gearing up and ready for the next season. So Thorin, Imrahil, and then the next one I'm going to be making is the new Season 2 Commander review. And then I also need to do a Season 3, this sort of Season 3 changes. So those 4 videos pretty much probably in the next sort of week.
Well, there's busy week. One little bit we could talk about. It's what we already know about 2 of the new commanders.
Yeah, I've not looked at the video yet.
Oh, you haven't?
I want to. I always, when things like that come out, I always want to make sure that I make the video almost immediately after watching. So my opinion video immediately after watching the video, so that I'm more.
One problem is we, for now, for the good one, Círdan, and the evil one, LotR, we only know the Respect Zero titles. That's basically it.
I wonder if I can stream. I guess I can stream those onto this, right?
Yeah.
Has everybody watched the video? Should I put the video on? Maybe I'll put the video on. Let's have a look. Let me find it. YouTube.
If you go in the official Discord, they are both in the game news, the last 2 messages.
Yeah, that might be easier. When I try and Google it, it comes up with all the content makers. Sorry, so I'm going to Lord of the Rings.
The game news channel.
Daily news channel. Game news channel.
Not daily news, game news.
Okay, and I'm going
just
up
above 7 news.
To
the last 2 messages.
This is going to be a bit of a pain. Give me a second.
I can also post the links into the Middle Age Gaming Discord.
Window capture. Hey, give me a second, guys. I'm going to. Oops. Okay, that should be fine. Okay.
See the video.
So we've
lost you.
We're gonna watch. We're gonna watch the. We're gonna watch the video. I'll just put my ugly face on the top. There we go. Way. We're gonna watch the video for the new commanders on the stream and see what happens.
It's really short and doesn't say much.
Hopefully the audio comes through the stream. Let's press play and see what happens. Yeah, I think that is great. Shipwright. Wait, sorry, I looked away for a second. Did I miss it? Where was the...
It's really short.
It showed us the skill? Oh, here we go.
The 2 titles a bit before that. Hey, we know the top one, because it's White Council. So the only new one we see is the bottom one.
Okay.
It's interesting that they move the White Council to Respect 0, because usually it's Respect 3, I believe.
Well, let's have a look. So White Council is the damage debuff, and then what's usually connected to White Council?
One of them is burn, focus, and poison damage reduction. And the other one, I have to look it up.
Yeah, I'm just going to check now on a commander that I've got. Recruit commander. Who has White Council? Gandalf the White.
Gandalf, Elrond, Galadriel.
Okay, White Council. The top one is High Alert, Focus, Burn, and Poison damage reduction. And the bottom one is Champion of the Light, damage to Orcs, Uruk-hai, and Trolls.
I believe the ones that have White Council so far only had it as an R3 title.
Okay, so then let's have a look at the bottom. So we've got Teleri, which is going to be a heal-based or defense bonus ability. Attached to that, we've got a skill, a damage-based skill, combat-based skill, and at the bottom, that's a what was that? That's not cavalry. That's another melee, isn't it? What's that symbol for? Stretched open. That is. Oh, it is. No, it's a horse. It's a horse skill, isn't it? Yeah, it's a mounted skill. If you go onto like Theoden, you will notice like a whole lot of his skills have that like cavalry picture. It's like a man charging on a horse.
Oh, okay. What I take from him is that he's, and what they also say in the video, he's basically he buffs your units or debuffs the enemies, something like that.
Okay, so let's see. We've got White. So White Castle's going to be. I mean, that's buffs as well. So Teleri, some sort of healing, some sort of cavalry, and some sort of combat based. Then at tier 3, another heal, a defensive stack ability, and what is that picture at the bottom?
If you go a little bit further in the video, they show what Teleri does.
Oh, really? Okay, sorry. I'm just looking at that picture for Lord of the Havens, the bottom one. I don't think I've seen that picture before, that icon. Is it the Ent icon? Is that the Ent icon? Let me check. Let's have a look at Frodo and Sam.
Yeah, that's the icon for Ent Friend.
Okay, that's a bit disappointing. So he's got something to do with Ents in there. Might be speed up, might be damage mitigation, who knows. But something to do with boosting Ents at the bottom. And then Shipwright, we don't know. At the top is some sort of madness or control effect. And at the bottom is some sort of another heal-based spell. Okay. So that's an interesting.
So far, I don't like him.
It's an interesting combination.
It looks all over the place.
Sorry. Yeah, it does seem a bit all over the place. That'd be an interesting one to unlock and grab a sight onto. I'm not entirely sure about that. The Ent ability, kind of for me, is going to destroy that mid-table because I really don't like it, and so it looks like it might all depend on his tier 5 abilities with that Shipwright.
Yep.
Certainly catch up. Anthony G. I might bench Gandalf this season to start with. I just don't like his endgame PvP fall off on the fence, though. Yes, to be honest, I didn't want to use him this season. I ended up doing it because I didn't. My Arwen was disappointing, so I went back to using him this season. I'm going to be using Galadriel instead to replace him, and definitely he will be getting benched. He says another Imrahil. Yeah, possibly. Remember what I said, though, about these guys? Tier 3 commanders comes out. You want something that's special and good, to make you not want to use all the current powerhouse stuff or the things that you've already got unlocked. So it needs to be better. It's no good being the same. It has to be better. If it's not a better commander, then why are you going to take the loss of all of the experience that you've gained from all of your other guys and switch to them? It's such a silly plan. So there are a lot of different skills in there. Let me have a look at Teleri. You said that they do mention what Teleri does a bit later on. Let me just see if I can get that.
It's just right after.
Oh, there we go. Elves, 30% chance of gaining damage plus 30. So that's only at level 10. So there's 5 more points to go in there. So I'm not entirely sure how exactly that's going to go. Oh, I can compare the levels.
Probably plus 50%.
It goes up. It goes up just below 4% per level for the damage increase. So 5 more levels to go. So about another 20% from 38.
60% more damage.
Yeah. So about 30% chance of gaining damage.
Hey, it's obvious he is an elf.
Affected by speed stat. Oh, so we've got speed stuff coming in at the bottom. So that cavalry ability below it is going to go with speed. So yeah, he's supposed to be some sort of cav speed guy. Just with the lack of others, it's going to be a confusing table then, because he's got White Council, which for me actually isn't particularly great unless you're going to go against evil. Then it's not a very good ability. So if you unlock him and get him, and you only get him at tier 0 to 2, half of his table is just going to be for against evil. So he's going to be fairly pointless unless you're constantly fighting evil throughout the entire season. Teleri seems to be a little bit interesting, but such a gamble on a 30% chance is not consistent enough. You're going to get it maybe 3 times throughout the 10-round battle. Some boost to cavalry and some combat boost. And then when you get into tier 3, respect.
I don't think that's every round. I think that's at the start of the battle and lasts for the rest of the battle.
For what?
This title, Teleri.
Elves, 30% chance of gaining damage. Oh, you reckon it's just a once-off that triggers in the beginning, and if it triggers, you get it for the whole battle?
That's my guess.
Either way, it's pretty shocking. It's too much of a gamble. And yeah, tier 3 is anything that's got ends could be a waste of space, because any commander that has anything that's specific to a special unit is just too much of a gamble, because you need to be near that special unit. It forces you to what you're going to be choosing as your faction. You've got to get that unit. You've got to make sure the tiles are available, the season doesn't go wrong, and you lose that area. Otherwise, the commander it becomes ineffective and neutered. So, yeah. Okay. Right, let's have a look at the other one. You said the other commanders are in here as well.
Yeah, the evil one of the evil ones.
Let's have a look.
Which has a really nice animation when he shows up.
Okay, so
in my opinion.
We just watched the video on the new evil commander. We've had a look through some of the skills and took a guess. Let me just close his video down.
The skills are really obvious what he will do.
Okay, let's have a look then at this the other commander.
You can't say that's not a nice animation.
Sorry guys, that was a bit loud. I only realised when Tikot started speaking, I realised I was much louder than he was. Let me just mute that and get back to the skills. Okay, I really don't know. I started my evil account. I only logged on for a couple of days, so I still don't really know exactly what all these skills do. But let's have a quick peek. Reaper, huge bonuses to might for the loss of focus. That's pretty obscene. With
I'm not sure
another
if we
15.
have seen that one before. That might be new.
That's pretty crazy. For another 5, you're going to get another 20 points. So you're going to be on plus 60, plus the 15 it gets, plus 75 might. That's going to be pretty damn scary.
Yep.
And also notice that the 2 skills coming off Reaper are also combat-based. Combat skill-based. And yeah, I was just looking at Jesus. Yeah, pretty much everything is. It's going to be, look at that all the way through the table. He's got 2.
I'm not sure if the one at Wingways, that's the R3 one, is a tech skill. Let me check with my evil account, because Wingways is on every.
Well, I think it means the 2 swords, I think, are like a combat-based skill, aren't they? So they can be like a damage increase or an actual direct damage attack, or they can be a buff to a unit, I think.
What I really like is the second R0 title, because that one shows you what he's about.
Yes, I think the two swords crossed together is a skill attack.
See you in the school.
Yeah, because things like flanking and cleave, those type of things have that symbol. The picture of the man charging forward is almost like a combat skill for buffing units.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's.
If we go a little bit further in the video, you see the second title.
Reaper Stalker damage dealt plus 20%. 2% per, so 5, and so it goes 30 max. If there are other unit types present, Reaper and Stalker will not be the primary targets of damage.
And that is awesome. Because that makes the Reaper so much better.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting.
For those who don't know, Reaper have an ability that 1/5 onwards they deal. If you max the skill, it's 70% more. So the dangerous time is the first half of the battle, and in the second half they deal a lot of damage. And this ability from the commander just makes them take so much less damage because the enemy units will attack other targets.
It will be a scary one.
Yeah. Also, if you look at the R5 ability, I'll wait for you to put it up again.
Sorry, it's a bit of a lag.
It's called Master of the Fallen, so it will probably buff skill similar to the one from Kieran for their tier 4 unit. So this one will probably a buff for the Engma tier 4 unit with a mounted buff on the top.
Let's turn them down. For some reason it's making my stream flicker. Okay, let's escape that. Very, very curious. It should be interesting with how they're going to go with the commanders. Hopefully.
So for the evil one, I'm excited for because he looks sweet.
I'm not excited for the tier 2 good guy one.
I'm not even sure if he is tier 2. I heard that Wendy said he is tier 3, but I have no idea where he wants to take that information.
Oh god, I hope he's not tier 3. That's terrible if he's tier 3. Absolutely terrible. All right. I think I might be having to call it there because it's actually 20 past 6 in the morning and I've got work at 12. So I've gone past my bedtime. Actually, I was meant to pop on for a couple of hours, but I've got distracted with so much being around, and I probably won't stream again until the season starts. Maybe Thursday. I'll try and work out how long I can stream for. So I'll probably be streaming then. I'll try and get those videos out the rest of this week when I have time about Thorian, Imrahil, Season 2 commanders in general, and the disappointment, and then maybe there's some of the Season 3 changes with updates and things that we've talked about today. in a review video, much shorter and compact. But yeah, I think that's going to be it. Tikosh, would you like to say anything before we go?
Save your coins for the new commanders if they are good.
Optimistic, I love it. Right, okay. Well, thanks everybody for tuning into the stream today. It's been a bit of a pick. We saw the fight of the Lothlorien take their areas. We saw the strong forces forming up in Dol Guldur. We'll see if that's threatened in the next one day that's remaining. I'll get those videos out to you. If you're looking for more stuff to watch, I did post earlier today my opinions on the 2 new evil factions for roleplay servers and why I think it is not balanced. And I also posted a video on Eladan for why he's a disappointment of a tier 2 character. I will speak to you again and see you soon in the week. Take care. Bye.